just a game. They're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Kyle Sandel behind the glass today. Game 2 of the Detroit Pistons. Round 1 matchup is tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll get to some Lions stuff with the draft being tomorrow. Yesterday we did what's the best case scenario. Today we're going to go what could be the worst case scenario, and also semi-realistic with picks 1 through 16 and what the Lions could be facing at pick 17. Let's start here, though. The Detroit Pistons, I mean, they can't – look, I guess I'll start by saying it's been over 6,000 days since they won a playoff game at home, right? 2008 was the last time that they have a home playoff win. So, first and foremost, let's just get that out of the way. Rip that Band-Aid off. Find a way to win a game in LCA, and it'd be the first playoff win for either of the teams that play there in the building's history. Let's start there. Just do that. Secondly, there are some big picture issues for this Detroit Pistons team that were pretty apparent in Game 1. We knew all season long that there was not a ton of shot creators outside of Cade Cunningham on this team. We knew that there was a lack of shooting on this team, neither of which were very much addressed at this year's trade deadline in a major way. So now you get into a first-round playoff series, and just like that, these problems start to arise. In every thought that we had throughout the regular season of, is this just a regular season team? Because even all you diehard Pistons fans, myself included, the ones that believed in this team and think that they have a run in them, these flaws existed, and they came out in game number 1. Jalen Duren was a shell of himself in game number 1. That's not okay. They're never going to win a series or go on a run if they don't have a Robin to Cade Cunningham. Think about it like this. Cade Cunningham scored 39 points and they still didn't win. Because their 1B, or their number 2, their Robin, was useless. He shot the ball 4 times as the Pistons got dominated in the paint. Think about it. The Pistons, who every time they've been good in their franchise's history, they've been a team that dominates down low and bullied the rest of the league. Quite literally picked on everybody else, physically dominated their opponents. Jalen Duren was the biggest reason that they were able to do that this season, going from just another guy on the team to an all-star, to potentially an all-NBA player, a guy that was thrown around in conversations regarding the best centers in the NBA. There's Jokic, there's Wemby. Who's that third best center? I nominated Jalen Duren at some point throughout the year when Cade was out with the collapsed lung and the Pistons didn't fall back in the standings whatsoever. They continue to win because Duren backpacked them for that long. Where was that guy in Game 1? The answer is not in the building. He didn't show up. He got his lunch money taken, not by one of those top centers like Embiid, like Jokic, like Wemby, by Wendell Carter Jr., a guy that most of you fans have probably never heard of. A guy that also took his girl at some point over the last calendar year. Shout out Angel Reese. The Pistons were the bullies, yet they were the ones that got bullied on Sunday in Game 1. They need some version of Jalen Duren to show up in this game tonight, or else I'll just put this out. I think the season's over. It's not that crazy to say the season's on the line tonight. You're the 1 seed. You are at home. You can't go down 0-2 going back to Orlando. Odds that you win that series become pretty unlikely. All of a sudden it flips and Orlando becomes the favorite tonight. They need capital N-E-E-D, Jalen Duren, to be the all-star version of himself tonight for them to win, for them to keep their season alive. for us to feel like they still have a run in them. Because if we get more of the same of what Jalen Duren was in Game 1, they don't have a chance. That is the Pistons' identity, dominating down low. They can't get outscored by 20 points in the paint. They can't give up 11 offensive rebounds because, man, the Pistons struggle to do that too. Duren was a minus 21, a game low, minus 21 in Sunday's game. He got his lunch money taken, and that can't happen again if the Pistons want to go on a run. So, A, they need Jalen Duren to show up tonight. Here's my big macro issue, though. As we all know, if you watched the playoffs last year and you saw Game 1 this time around, if the Pistons are trailing in the fourth quarter, Ausar Thompson, who I view, who Kyle views, who I think most of our listeners view, as the third most important person on this team, one of the 3 finalists to win Defensive Player of the Year. If they are losing in the fourth quarter, JB Bickerstaff becomes very hesitant to put him on the floor. Why? Because of the lack of spacing that we talked about, because of the lack of shooting that we talked about. It becomes much harder for Cade Cunningham to operate because teams, especially in the playoffs, will just flat out ignore that guy. He can't hit a 3, he won't take them. I think Ausar Thompson's an incredibly high IQ basketball player and does a lot of special things, is a one-of-one defender on the outside. I understand at the very least why he's not out there. Could he play out there if Jalen Duren could shoot 3s? Absolutely. Could he play out there if they had a stretch big? You betcha. When Duren's on the bench and Stu's the 5 and Ausar Thompson's out there, it's all feasible. But we all want Jalen Duren out there. We want the Batman Robin version of him out there. So as you're watching tonight's game, with the season essentially on the line, I want you to ask yourself a question throughout the course of it. Can Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson both exist as foundational pieces of this team around Cade Cunningham? Because throughout the course of the season, even with the winning, those thoughts lingered in the back of my mind. What happens in a playoff series, in a half-court set, when the defense is locked in, and it's the last 3 minutes of a game, and you're just going bucket for bucket? How's that going to work? We saw a little bit of it in Game 1. Hey, ignore these 2 guys. Good luck, Cade. We're bringing the house. Obviously, everyone can cut. Everyone can float to the rim. But Orlando did a great job of taking away that lob from Jalen Duren. Now he's got to find other ways to impact the game. If they're going to take away the lob, guess what, brother? You've got to be able to catch the ball at the free throw line and get to the rim like you did all season long from the elbow. Part of that is Ausar Thompson has to be able to space the floor, and he just can't do that. So all of a sudden you're looking at putting Ausar Thompson on the bench. I want you to ask yourself throughout the course of tonight's game, A, where the hell is Jalen Duren and what version of him are we getting? And B, even if we get the best version of him, can Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren both play next to each other in the long run? Cade had 39 points in Game 1, and they still found a way to lose. It could lead to some pretty awkward conversations about who's a part of this core and who's not. Jalen Duren needs an extension this offseason. Not due for one, needs one. This is the last year of his contract. Ausar Thompson, eligible for one. So this isn't some, we got to figure this out eventually. No, this issue is here in the immediate future. The second the season's done, whether it's tonight and you go down 0-2 going back to Orlando, whether it's Game 7, whether you make it to the conference finals, there are decisions that have to be made about who we're paying and who we're not. Say we like I'm a part of the decision-making. Is Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson both people that can be surrounded by Cade Cunningham? Individually, I think it totally works. Ausar Thompson's most defensive player of the year candidate, finalist. Jalen Duren, at one point, was thrown around as the third best center in the NBA most improved player of the year finalist. Both those guys individually work perfectly with Cade Cunningham. Can you have them both out there? That's what I'm going to be looking for tonight. 989-837-6125. I also don't think it's crazy to say the season is essentially on the line today because you can't go down 0-2. Especially as the 1 seed, all of a sudden the pressure flips. Orlando feels like they're playing with house money, yet they have all the momentum in the world. I probably shouldn't say the season's over, but suddenly we feel like this team was fraudulent the entire season. And that's the ebbs and flows of a playoff series. even when you pick a team in 6, which I said they would win in 5 or 6, it requires the other team to win 2 games. However, if it's the first 2 games, it's at home, for some reason you still can't get over this hump of winning your first home game in 11 years, I don't know. That's going to rub a lot of fans the wrong way, and all of a sudden, those flaws that we talked about, the lack of shooting, the lack of spacing, the lack of being able to create a shot for players outside of Cade Cunningham, all that stuff becomes very real if they lose tonight. It's been real the whole season. But if Orlando can expose it again tonight, then we are making decisions on, okay, what's going on with JD and Ausar Thompson. Don't want to trade either of them. It might be necessity at some point this offseason. Or, you know what could be nice? Detroit just shows up tonight and wins and shuts us all up. That would be nice. Jalen Duren shows up and dominates the paint and dominates Wendell Carter Jr., who's just a guy in the NBA. Not an all-star, not an all-NBA player, just a guy. Hey, Jalen Duren, need you to go dominate him. If he shows up, Ausar Thompson's going lockdown defense. Please don't put him on Desmond Bane again. Put him on Paulo or Franz. We can just throw all this conversation down the road. Kick the can down the road. We don't need to figure out who's a part of this core or not. We just need to focus on the playoffs. That requires a win, though. A loss, we're having some awkward conversations tomorrow. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9. The 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plan all the time on this show. JB Bickerstaff, please, for the love of God, don't have Ausar Thompson stuck to Desmond Bane in the corner. He needs to be able to help off of guys. That would be my game plan. Get him in the help, get him in the gap, let him cause mayhem, chaos. You get it. That's how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The... on 100.9 The Mid.
Jalen Duren, obviously a no-show in Game 1. Game 2 is tonight. Do you think it's overstatement or understatement to say that the season's on the line tonight, Kyle? Let's start there, and then we can dive into some of the Duren and Ausar combination stuff.
I mean, I think the season's absolutely on the line tonight. Mm-hmm. You don't go down 2-0 as the home team, right?
Not as the 1 seed, no.
Like, it doesn't even matter. You could be the 4 versus 5. Like, if you are down 2-0, you lose the 2-0 games at home. It's different if you're like in the Houston Rockets case right now where you lost the first 2 on the road. Everyone knows the cliche saying, series doesn't start till a road team wins a game. Well, if the road team wins the first 2 games, I think the series is over. It's very difficult for a team to bounce back like that. And you add
with
in
a miracle, it just, you don't feel good.
Right. And then you add in all of the other factors, including like the Pistons, don't have a lot of playoff experience. They didn't win a playoff series last year. It's not like it's this fluky thing where they're this pedigreed playoff team. They've been on deep runs. What's going on? This is kind of weird. I still trust them. You don't have that to rely on with this Pistons squad. All you have to rely on is, well, the Orlando Magic just weren't that good this season. That's what you have to rely on, and maybe that team comes out. And that is the part that I'm leaning to. Like, I know you didn't lay out, like, predictions there. You're just saying, like, this is a must-win game, and it absolutely is for the Pistons. It's one of the first must-win games of the year, if not the first actual must-win game. Getting that, whatever you want to call it at this point, off of your back of not winning a playoff game in LCA. It's crazy that still has yet to happen. It's been so long since the Pistons, 6,000 days?
Over 6,000 days, yeah.
That is unreal to think about. It's been that long since they've won a home playoff game in Detroit or Auburn Hills, whatever it was at the time.
6,540 days since their last home playoff win. Will they pick it up tonight? Hopefully.
They have to. They have to. That's the only answer.
They have to, and in order to do that, Jalen Duren like the all-star version of Jalen Duren, the Robin version of Jalen Duren, the best of what we've seen this year from Jalen Duren, that guy has to be present tonight or they have no chance. I said before the playoffs even started, he's the key to the Pistons getting over the hump. He's the key to the Pistons going on a playoff run. Cade's going to get his. Cade had 39 and they still lost. Why? Because their second-best player had less than double-digit points. Unfortunately, I'm really hesitant to buy into the fact that he's going to just show up in a big way tonight. I can hope. I can cross my fingers.
Really?
I am a little bit worried that we're going to get something a little closer to what we saw in Game 1 than what we saw throughout the course of the regular season as one of these, top 5 center guys in the NBA. Orlando's got a ton of size. They seem very adamant about taking away the lob. I don't know if I trust JB Bickerstaff to free him up in other ways to where they can get him going at the rim. And it felt like he was just kind of turtled back into his shell when the Orlando was giving him opportunities to go one-on-one with some of their big fellas down in the paint like Wendell, like Paolo, like Franz. Like, they've just got a lot of size, a lot of physicality, and for some reason Jalen Duren didn't want to bring it back to those guys.
I mean, sure, I agree. And the fact that, Orlando's game plan was very effective. It was to just take Jalen Duren out of the game as much as they can offensively and then go at him on defense. Like, that truly was their game plan, and it worked really well. So from that perspective, and from the perspective of, is JB Bickerstaff going to do anything to change what happened in Game 1, I understand having question marks about those things. But from the physicality standpoint, from the, Jalen Duren kind of got in his shell, and I don't know if he's going to be able to bring it in Game 2, I do not doubt that for Game 2. I think Duren comes out. I mean, we'd want to talk about physicality, and we want to talk about being present and dominant down low. Like, Jalen Duren is that guy. It's not Wendell Carter Jr. It's not Goga Batadze. It's not Franz Wagner, Paolo, all these guys that they're out there. It's Jalen Duren, man. He is physicality. He is size. He is presence. And he needs to show that again tonight.
That's one thing.
And
though.
I think he's going to have the mindset to do that as well. Like, I don't see him just backing down and being okay with Wendell Carter dominating him.
I don't think he's going to back down, but I'm with you in the sense that I think he's going to bring it, certainly more than he did in Game 1. It'd be pretty hard to not. But do you think he's going to be able to put up the numbers? Like, can he give the Pistons 20 points? Can he give the Pistons 12 rebounds? Can he be that version of what he was throughout the course of the regular season where he was talked about as one of the 3 to 4 best centers in the NBA? I don't know. I was, pretty scarred by Game 1 with the way that he reverted back to the 2025 version of himself where he was just kind of another guy on the floor during that Knicks series. He wasn't a difference maker. I got pretty scarred by that, and I'm hesitant to just be like, well, that guy's going away. That guy's never going to show up again in the playoffs. I don't know.
I mean, but also think about the difference of player that we felt Jalen Duren has grown since that series.
Then why did he revert
the guy might
back,
be the most improved player.
But
it's one game.
But then why did it happen? What's the explanation
because Orlando
for
took
it?
him away, man. Orlando was not allowing him to do anything. Their game plan.
So why am I supposed to
because
believe that
teams
he
in the regular
comes out of
season
his
weren't doing
shell
that
now? Why am I supposed to believe that it's all corrected after that game then?
Because they've had 3 days since the game to figure out how to fix it.
I think there's a reason JB Bickerstaff's 9-20 in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's less of a JB thing and more of a Duren thing. I just think Duren understand. Like you also have to remember what you talked about in the opening segment. The guy is playing for a potential supermax this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
He understands that. His agent certainly understands that. He has big games in the playoffs. It's a lot easier for him and his agency to go to the Pistons and say, "Hey, look what I did in the playoffs."
I mean, the Pistons will have no choice but to give him a max contract if he shows up.
And it's easy for the Pistons to do the reverse if he does what he did in Game 1 throughout the entire playoffs. Well, look what you did in the playoffs, man. Supermax? You're saying Supermax? Are you kidding me? I understand that, obviously, as a fan, that's tough to hear because you want to think that the number one priority for a player is winning games, and it probably still is for Duren. But the contract 100% plays into this. I mean, he wants to get his. He wants to dominate this game. And yeah, the JB stuff is concerning. I'm with you on that. Like, I totally agree because he has been a lack of adjustments guy his whole career, basically. He's a regular season coach. That's his thing. But I'm just more keen to lean on the side of we're going to let the guy who essentially got fired before the season even ended out game plan us who were the 1 seed all season long. I just don't see that.
The ultimate red flag.
I just don't see that happening back-to-back games. Sure, we can give the Magic their kudos and credit for having the better game plan in Game 1 for taking Duren out of this thing, but they also still just ended the season so terribly, and their coach was written off before the season even ended. That guy's going to out-game plan Bickerstaff for another game? I can't get behind that.
I also get worried about what happens when the Pistons are playing from behind in a fourth quarter game, when all of a sudden we've seen enough now that we know Ausar Thompson's just going to be on the bench and have a very limited role despite being one of the 3 finalists to win Defensive Player of the Year. We're all aware of how big of an impact he can have defensively, but JB Bickerstaff has told us time and time again in these big games, if they're losing in the fourth quarter and need points, they are not afraid to just stick him on the bench and have somebody else come in who can stretch the floor a little bit more than him. I think that's important for Jalen Duren too, and that's why I start to ask the question and tell our audience to ask themselves this question during the playoffs, during Game 2 tonight, of whether or not Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren can play next to each other in the long term, and who of those guys is in the immediate future going to be a foundational part next to Cade Cunningham. Obviously, it's all built around Cade, and I think most of us would say, yeah, Jalen Duren's obviously the guy that we want as the Robin, because he's shown he's able to do it on the offensive end. Ausar Thompson, having 2 guys that just are not going to shoot threes, it really makes you wonder about the fit long term.
Well, I mean, JB Bickerstaff answered that question. If he doesn't play in the most crucial part of the season, fourth quarters of playoff games, I mean, he's answered the question for us. Like, I still think that there's a lot of evidence that shows when Duren is playing the way that he did in the back half of the season, the regular season, him and Ausar can absolutely play together because Duren's dominance just allows everything to open up. I mean, when the focus is on him defensively, it allows guys like Ausar to get more creative offensively and just be in better spots rather than, oh, we're just not going to leave this guy. We're going to leave this guy over here because he can't shoot, you know? But when he is benched in the fourth quarter of the biggest parts of the season, how are we as fans supposed to be like, yeah, of course he's a part of the future, when the guy who runs the team is showing it to our face that he's not?
It pains me to say
you can
this
play
out
all
loud.
regular season long, man.
It pains me to say it out loud because I love Ausar Thompson. I think he's a brilliant one of 2 player with him and his twin. Incredible defensive player, really high IQ. I love the guy, and I think he can be a championship.
Potentially the most laterally quick guy in NBA history.
I don't think that's crazy. I think he can be a key part of a championship team. But can he be a key part of a championship team that also features Jalen Duren, a guy who's not going to be able to stretch the floor? I don't know the answer. Right now, the answer feels more like no than yes.
Yeah, and it's early, obviously. This is the first time that those two guys have been key figures of a team that actually has real championship aspirations. I know that some people might not believe that the Pistons don't, but if they're the 1 seed, I would say that they do no matter what. So this is the first time we get to test it out. Unfortunately, they have to answer that question this offseason with both the Duren needing a potential Supermax extension and rookie-eligible extension for Ausar.
989-837-6125. We'll hit the MIT messages when we come back. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with them, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired on your home, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Do not wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on on 100.9 The Mid.
Let's go to the mid messages here. 989-837-6125. Rob from Saginaw says, I just wish the Pistons would have gotten another three-point shooter or another player who can get buckets along with Cade Cunningham at the deadline. Yeah, we were so invested in the Michael Porter Jr. trade that I think we lost sight in just adding someone of value. And not to say Kevin Huerter's not a value, because he was and has been.
And I thought he had a good game 1, too, in his minutes.
Got a lot of minutes,
Yeah.
6-man. But there were some other players that got moved. Ayo Dosunmu on the Timberwolves, Colby White on the Hornets. That probably would have been nicer fits for the Pistons. Or, Jaden Ivey doesn't, self-combust. That would have been nice, too.
Yeah, I mean, White is the guy that, like Michael Porter Jr., everyone's still upset about that. He didn't get traded, man. We can't get mad about that one. We have to look at the other guys that actually got moved.
Let's go to a couple other messages here. This one's regarding whether or not Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren can play next to each other. Pete says, yes, but not with Harris and Robinson. They're the ones that need to be replaced in the future. Okay, I'm with you on Tobias. Tobias, I don't think the Pistons can win a championship if Tobias Harris is their second or third leading scorer. Like, this is just the role that Tobias Harris has carved out for himself. He's he's good enough in the NBA to get paid, be a part of, a starting lineup that has regular season playoff aspirations, and then when push comes to shove, he can't be your third best player to win a title. Like, that's the upgradable spot. That's this offseason, the number one mission, upgrade the Tobias Harris spot. What did Duncan do to get thrown into this, though? Duncan Robinson's fine. Is he the best three-point shooter? No. Is he the best defender? No. Also a lights-out three-point shooter and someone that they absolutely need to be able to stretch the floor.
Desperately need Duncan Robinson. Like, it's actually vital how important Duncan Robinson is to this team.
Yes. Tobias, I'm with you.
It'd be nice that all the pressure wasn't just on Duncan Robinson, for sure. Like, maybe that's the point here, but
I don't think he's, in dire need of replacement, though.
For sure not. I mean, Duncan Robinson will be right back on this team next year.
Michael says, yes, both are very good, but they need to develop some sort of offense with an outside jumper to at least get respect from defenders. I got bad news for you. I don't think either of those guys are ever going to be three-point shooters in their career.
Yeah,
there's some examples of late bloomers of guys who played in the past era who just developed the jump shot late, like a Brook Lopez type. But I don't know, man. For these two guys specifically, I just don't see the three-point shooting ever being involved in their game. Ausar still looks ugly.
Thompson's the guy that if it was going to happen, it was probably this year, if he ever was going to develop that three-point shot, and he just doesn't take them. It's not even that he can't make them; he just doesn't take them. And
he's
obviously,
got a 15-footer.
Yeah, he's got a pull up midi because he gets so high up in the air. But like Andre Drummond, by the way, another one of those guys that has just become a 3-point shooter now. Really random.
Really random. If you would have told me 10 years ago that Andre Drummond was going to be hitting three-pointers to win games in the playoffs, I would have thought it was a full-court shot.
He used to be great at them full-court shots, man.
Yeah, because he openly admitted to spending 30 minutes after practice every day practicing full-court shots while he was shooting 41% from the free throw line. Openly said that. One of the more egregious things the Detroit Piston has ever said. Steve says, they are both so one-sided. If Ausar had more of an offensive game plan, or Duren could play a lick of defense in the paint, they'd both be unquestioned core players. When you have two starters that basically disappear on one side of the floor, you're handicapping your team. I don't think Duren all season long has been a defensive mess.
I think he's been much improved in the play on defense. Just game one defensively was terrible. Yeah,
and it's a shame because Ausar Thompson, Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Finished third.
Wemby won it unanimously. He's the best perimeter defender in the NBA. It's not close.
Yeah.
It is Ausar Thompson.
You see somebody voted for Duren to win Depoy, or they voted for him third? He got a single vote.
No, that's insane because he's third or fourth best defender on the team, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Stu and Thompson, no doubt, are 1 and 2.
Might have Cade 3, honestly, if we're just talking guarding the guy across from you. I don't know. It seems like the consensus here is, yes, they can play next to each other if the players around them are better, but I just want you guys to think about that question as the game is progressing tonight, of the spacing that results in Cade Cunningham having nowhere to go, nowhere to pass the ball.
The issue is, And I hate to have off-season conversations one game into the playoffs when we, have really high aspirations for this team to go on a long playoff run. But, like, even if the Pistons go off tonight, and even if they, end up dominating the Magic and win this series in 5, and boom, just like that, we're feeling good going into the next series, those questions still exist.
For sure.
No doubt. And the Pistons still have much different things to address roster-wise going into the offseason. No matter what happens in the playoff. Of course, unless they win the whole thing, then never mind, But, like, that's the issue with this conversation is, like, they could still have success. They could bounce back tonight, and this question still absolutely exists.
Yeah. Jalen Duren, going to need more out of him tonight. He's not only, the most important piece for the Pistons in terms of getting out of this series, he's also playing for a contract. He's playing for a max. You show up, the Pistons go on a run because of you. Guess what? You're getting a max contract. You lose tonight's game, all of a sudden your backs are really against the wall, and it feels like the series is totally flipped, and you could be a first-round exit as a 1 seed. You're not getting a max contract, man. It's that easy. You want money? Show up. Go dominate Wendell Carter Jr., a guy who most Pistons fans have probably never heard of. He's not Joel Embiid. He's not Nikola Jokic. He's not Victor Wembanyama. He's Wendell Carter Jr. Go kick his ass. 989-837-6125. Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Minute. Kyle Sandel with a short version of the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
So you're saying Jalen Duren could be, like, super maxing at some point?
He could be. If
Right?
the Pistons go on a little run here, I think that's very much on the table.
It's very much on the table. Yes, you're right. Okay, shortened version of the news. Let's do it. Let's quickly look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. It's Earth Day, Ben. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. Earth Day.
Properly rated? I don't know. It's not like I celebrate it.
Yeah, it was mainly just a joke. Shout out to the Earth. I love the Earth. It's a beautiful rock that we live on.
Sure.
And it's a nice day as well for Earth Day, so that's good as well. And if you want to celebrate Earth Day today, head out to the Averill Preserve in Sanford from 4 to 7 today. There's a bio blitz there. It's a communal effort to record as many species within a designated location and time period as possible. That sounds kind of fun. You get to just check out all the different things that are living going on out there.
I was just going to say go golfing.
No,
Sounds
yeah,
like a great day
you
to
could
go
golfing too. Yeah, that's something you could do. Just go be outside today. It's Earth Day. You're supposed to do that. Okay, yesterday, I know we're going to touch on it next. Tigers get blown out at home in the opening game of this 3-game set with Milwaukee 12-4. Jake Rogers was pitching. Yeah, it was bad, man.
I'll save my thoughts on that for the next segment.
Yep, he will. Casey Mize versus Chad Patrick tonight, though, in Game 2, once again at 6:40. My favorite start time in all of baseball.
6:40?
I love the 6:40 starts, man. God, they're so good.
I've grown in an admiration for the 1 o'clock start.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you said it can't be the game of the day.
That doesn't mean I don't like it.
I mean, if you like
Free
it,
up the
then
night.
If you like it, why can't it be the game of the day?
It's not everyone has the ability to watch that during, like, most people have regular jobs.
Yeah, but like watch it during your job, man.
Or
It's
listen.
like the whole cool part about it. Yeah. Okay, Pistons obviously playing tonight. Let's talk about the games that happened last night in the NBA. First off, with Jason Benetti on the call, Sixers upset the Celtics. You love that on Peacock. VJ Edgecombe, the first rookie to have 30 and 10 in a playoff game since
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, yes, in 1998. Crazy that it's been that long. Big time game. Tyrese Maxey ends this game really strong. They even this thing up at 1 apiece.
I still think this is Celtics in 5. The fact
Probably.
that a rookie has been that good, and they have got a backcourt that's undersized but so good offensively, it makes it a very fun watch. And if they can get Embiid back, maybe this becomes a series.
No way
not.
they get him back, though, right?
I mean, it's appendicitis. It's not like he has an injury.
But he does,
he has surgery.
though. Like, he also is injured at the same time. He's always injured.
I think it'd be really fun if Embiid could make it back.
I think so, too. Hopefully that does happen.
Guess what the Celtics don't have? A dominant big man.
What, Vucevic isn't doing it for you?
They don't have anybody to stay in front of Embiid
No, they don't.
if he's playing the way he was before the appendicitis.
Yeah, true. I hope he comes back. Yeah, but this series evened up at 1 apiece. Another one that got evened up at 1 apiece last night, Trailblazers and Spurs, and I guess we'll use this as our time to look at the Covenant Healthcare injury report because Wembanyama leaves this one with a concussion, only plays 12 minutes. Very unfortunate. Obviously, he was just announced as the unanimous Defensive Player of the Year yesterday and then exits Game 2. Portland wins this, and it stinks because without Wembanyama, this fourth quarter of this game was awesome. Like, this was a very awesome game. Drew Holiday was vintage playoff Drew Holiday in this one. A blocked three-point shot late in this one. He had so many big-time plays down the stretch. And Scoot Henderson, who went second or third in that draft with Wembanyama, has one of the best games of his career, dropping 31 in the playoffs.
Looked like Cohen Carr when he was down in the paint. Just the vertical explosion from that guy it's up there with some of the best guys in the league. I was looking at some of the concussion protocol stuff with it's 48-hour time. He's just not going to be available for Game 3. I literally just changed the rules now. Let that guy play Game 3. As long as that guy can walk in a straight line, let him play in Game 3.
Isn't the concussion thing like the one thing they really can't change the rules on? Like, those are just kind of set in stone?
Yes, but I also would be 100% content with the NBA just stepping in and being like, yeah, we're going to let him play with a minor concussion because he's the most must-see thing we have in the league, must-see person we have in the league. He's the biggest star we have in the league. Think about it like this. The Rockets and Kevin Durant and LeBron James squared up yesterday in a playoff game. Front page of ESPN is all Wemby-related things right now. He's their star. You can't lose this opportunity.
Sounds like Roger Goodell, just who cares about concussions? Let's get this guy back out on the court.
Well, with
on the
football,
field.
it's different because you're like smashing into each other every play. As long as Wemby doesn't get an elbow to the head, which I don't think anyone's tall enough to even do that, I feel like it.
What if he just falls again?
That would be unfortunate.
It's a big fall, that guy,
It is, and that was a nasty fall.
It was.
Chin right into
why
the
he
floor.
got. It's why he got the concussion. It was definitely tough.
He looked dazed. He looked really dazed heading back to the locker room.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be out for Game 3 and should be back for Game 4. So Portland headed back there, which I don't know if they probably bus back from San Antonio to Portland with all the stuff going on with their cheap owners.
Oh.
Probably not flying back. Maybe they'll make it back for Game 3.
I mean, that would be a long bus ride.
And then the final game last night, it was Ben's game of the day. And boy, it was a game that happened yesterday on the day.
It's a street fight.
Lakers go up 2-0 on Houston. Like you said, KD plays in this one. He had the best start ever. He made like his first 5 shots from the field. The first half, KD was like, here he is. Vintage KD. First time these two guys had faced off in the playoffs since the finals in 2018, which is pretty cool. And KD in the fourth quarter falls apart. He has 9 turnovers in this game. LeBron goes off, and the Lakers go up 2-0.
It's funny. You look at the series, and you look around the league. Steph, he's out of the playoffs right now. Kevin Durant falls apart in the fourth quarter after being unavailable Game 1. Even on his own team, Luka and Reeves are hurt. Last man standing, the Iron Man, the guy who's showing up, scores 28 yesterday, almost has a triple-double.
Hits the 2 threes you needed him to as well.
LeBron James just somehow still doing it. It's hard to even believe that this is still happening. I feel like we're even taking it for granted.
We are. Like I did not get to stay up to watch this one. I watched the first half, so at least I'll give myself credit for that.
He's out there by himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, those lineups and Marcus Smart yesterday dominated for them. I mean, that gave me flashbacks to that series when he was the Defensive Player of the Year guarding KD when it was Celtics Nets. Now we're in the Big 2-6, way different teams, and still Marcus Smart is defending KD. It's just hilarious to see that. But all right, we'll go over all the NHL games and all that stuff later in the news.
This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on the Mid. I told you it's going to be nice out today. It's golf season. Head on over to Apple Mountain if you're looking for a new place to play in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection, championship-level course, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking up the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away but miles from ordinary.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, Tigers got shelled yesterday. Jake Rogers ended up pitching, which, for as bad and ugly as a game as it is, I don't know. Something about when the position players come in and they're pitching, it just salvages the whole night. The crowd absolutely loves it. Anyone who stuck around was just having the time of their lives, even though the Tigers were down by double-digit runs at one point in the ninth inning. Jake Rogers is getting strikeouts by throwing knuckleballs. I don't know, something about that. I'm glad I stuck around and watched the last inning because I was just like, oh, Jake Rogers is throwing strikeouts. This is fun. And honestly, like, it lifts some spirits for the guys on the team as well. I know some people aren't going to like that. Oh, they lost. What is there to be happy about? There's 162 games, man. You got to find something to make you happy. And sometimes these games are going to go that way. Obviously, the pitching just didn't go according to plan, and that is probably my number one concern with this team right now. It's not a long-term concern because you got some guys coming back from injury, but between the two long-term relievers, you feel good about most of the guys in the pen, like Will Vest. Kyle Finnegan still has some really awesome stats, ERA below 1 right now. And then, of course, Kenley Jansen's been really fun this year too. But the long-term relievers, Emmanuel De Jesus and Drew Anderson, have 6.75 and 7.94 ERAs respectively. They both stink. So when pitchers can only go 3-4 innings and it's not their best outing, and you have to go to one of these clowns, I just feel like the Tigers are going to lose each game that these guys play in. It is the biggest hole they have on the roster right now.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, they have the benefit of, like, once Verlander comes back, then Kiter Montero likely moves into that spot. And once Troy Melton comes back, he's going to have some sort of role in that situation.
Hell, man, but who knows? Jackson Jobe could be in that spot at some point.
Sure, I mean, he's a little bit longer down the road compared to those other two guys.
But that could be a way to ease him back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And just in general, like, both of those guys, every time they take the mound, you're just, okay, the other team's going to get at least 2 runs put up here. Like, that's the point you've gotten to with both of those guys. And it's very frustrating. It also eliminates any sort of pitching by chaos option for the Tigers, because you have to have a long inning relief guy to pitch in that situation, and those two guys have not been good. So, yeah, that's the number one concern about this team right now. Every other spot you can look at and be like, okay, there's at least some bright spots there. Oh, Torkelson got a hit yesterday. That's good. Like,
we're celebrating Torkelson hits now.
The starting pitching is still, like, I think really good. And like you said, the back-end relief guys are awesome. And there's bright spots at every part in the lineup right now. Obviously, some guys are slumping, some guys are not. But that group of the long inning relief guys have been so bad all season long from the rip. And, man, they were trying to tell us Drew Anderson should be a starter in this rotation, man. He was competing for a starting spot. Wow, were they wrong.
Every time he comes in, you're just, like, clinching your butt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God,
De
what's about to
Jesus
happen?
pitched in the World Baseball Classic for Team Venezuela. He had a really good spring. Like, oh, this guy's got something to him.
He's not making enough money to justify still being around if this is how it's going to go. If this is how every outing's going to go for him.
Anderson, though, is making too much money. That's the unfortunate part.
$7 million this year with a club option of $10 million next season.
Yeah, that's getting declined.
Yeah. I sure hope so. God, he's going to be stuck around just rotting on this roster by the end of it. He can't be out there. Every time he's out there, the Tigers give up runs. The game's just over as soon as he goes out there.
And even, like, De Jesus has the error yesterday. It's not even just giving up hits and stuff. He threw a ball into foul territory, like, when they could have easily gotten it out. He's just bad, man. It's just been bad.
12-4 final. That makes it closer than it actually was because.
Oh, right.
They scored, 3 runs in the ninth inning?
Yeah, it was 12-1.
Yeah. Really ugly. McGonigal continues his on-base streak. He's been on base all but one game that he's played in so far this year. Tigers are 12-12 right now. And with no Benetti yesterday, Dickerson actually, I couldn't believe this, early in the game, made it a point how good Spencer Torkelson is throwing back to the pitcher after the pitcher tries to pick somebody off. That's a real thing that happened yesterday. It's like, Dan, man, I love you. That is insane that's what you're trying to sell me on with Spencer Torkelson right now. It's like, yeah, but he does a lot of things that you don't necessarily pick up on, like throwing it back to throwing it back to the pitcher. That's a skill. It's like, what? Are we serious?
Throwing it back to the pitcher?
This is a real thing that we're talking about right now?
I missed this because I caught most of the game on radio yesterday.
It was
but
like first or second inning. I couldn't believe what he was saying. It's like, what are you talking about,
throwing
man?
it back to the pitcher, like when you're goofing off and like
He's like, most people don't give it right to the pitcher's glove. Like, you don't want the pitcher to be moving around all that much. Could fall down on the mound. I was like, what are we talking about, man? He stinks.
Oh man, that's how bad Torkelson's season has been. If we're giving him kudos for that.
Yeah, he did get a hit yesterday,
Ben,
though. And drew a walk.
Some people don't.
And had one of the ugliest strikeouts of the year.
I turn your mic off sometimes, and a lot of people don't give me enough credit for that. It's like it's a tough job.
Send us to break sometimes in a really efficient way.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, that's what we're going to do now. 989-837-6125. Let's flip gears. The Detroit Lions have a draft tomorrow. They pick 17. We talked about the best case scenario yesterday. How about the worst case scenario, which I feel is becoming very realistic? That's when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix.
Radio 100.9 The Mint. WLUN. Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Yesterday we looked at, what's the best case scenario for the Lions, and we brought up that ESPN mock draft of all these tackles starting to fall and there only being two guys that go before pick 17, and the Lions are going to have their plethora of choices. What I feel is going to be the more realistic thing that happens, as it happens almost every year in the draft, is teams are going to start trading up, flying up the board. You look at teams like, the Steelers, the Eagles picking behind the Lions. They're going to want to fly up and take their offensive tackles too. Kansas City, another team at 9 who could theoretically take an offensive tackle. Even if the first 3 picks are not tackles, because we said, hey, if Arizona takes a tackle there, all of a sudden you're feeling like they're going to start running. I think even if Arizona goes edge rusher and there's no tackles off the board in the top 5 picks, there's still going to be a run of them where as soon as one team takes one, then another team wants one. Then somebody's calling up to try to jump the Lions because they know they're taking one. I think it's much more realistic that by the time the Lions are picking in the draft, there could be 3 to 4 tackles that have been taken by that point, than only 2. The over-under on offensive linemen in the first round is 7.5 right now. That's an easy over to me. These guys are going to fly off the board, and now it feels like there's going to be 7 tackles taken off the board in the first round. I want to make sure the Lions have their choice of who that is. So my question is, do the Lions trade up? Do they trade down or stick at 17? What is best for this team going into this year's draft tomorrow?
Well, it all depends on what your priority is. If your priority is, no matter what, getting the best offensive tackle that the Lions want the most, then either trade up or neither is your option, right? Trade up or stay put, because if there's going to be 7 taken in the first round, then I don't think all 7 are going to go before pick 17. Probably not 6 of them either. Like, you're going to have at least a good choice of them come pick 17, or you can trade up and go get a guy if you think that the third offensive tackle is going to go before you. So if that's your number one priority, getting the offensive tackle, sure, I think it's trade up or neither. But with there being potentially 7 going in the first round, if you just think, man, I just want to get any of them, it doesn't matter which one we get. I'm cool with getting a guy that we're fine on all of them because it's better than Larry Borum, no matter what. Then trading down certainly is an option.
I'm okay with getting any of them. I don't think the Lions are going to sit back and say, you know what, as long as we get any offensive tackle that we have considered a first rounder, they're fine. They're way more likely to be aggressive and make sure nobody jumps them rather than sit back and then get burned because the 3 guys that they really love are gone.
I don't think any team operates like that. We'll just take any offensive tackle we can get. They all have their priorities on who they want.
You look at the top 10, Arizona team that could take a tackle, maybe not a guarantee. New York, a team that could, probably won't, but could. Cleveland, definitely a team that could. The Chiefs, definitely a team that could. The Dolphins at 11, definitely a team that could. Like there's a lot of teams picking there, but like there's going to be a run of them at some point. Baltimore is a team that could take an offensive tackle. The Jets are a team that could take an offensive tackle 1 pick in front of the Lions. And then you look behind to Detroit, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Pittsburgh, whether it's Philadelphia, Cleveland again at pick 24, the Bears at 25. There's a lot of candidates that could come jump the Lions and go take an offensive tackle right before them. So I'm almost leaning more towards, if there really is a fear that these tackles are going to go fast because, none of the mock drafts do it, but more often than not, these GMs, they want to bulk up the offensive line and make sure that they can protect their quarterback. If there's really going to be a run of offensive linemen, I am now way more interested in the idea of trading up than ever before with, the stuff that I am reading about in the last 24 hours about all these offensive linemen potentially going pretty fast here.
Well, it all depends on what happens early, right? Because at least from what I'm seeing, it seems like Arizona's not going to go tackle anymore, right?
I don't think they are. And it sounds like Arizona's the team that's desperately trying to trade out of the top 10.
Oh, really?
It's either
for a team that wants Arvell Reese potentially.
From my understanding, it's a team that is going to want an edge rusher, and if Arizona does stick at 3, they're going to take Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, the Love talk has really gotten big for them,
which could just be smoke. Or it's not. You never know this time of year. But Arizona's the number 1 team where it makes sense. We just want to take an offensive tackle, but we don't feel like Francis Mauigoa is good enough to go number 3, so let's just trade back. And the team like the Cowboys or the Chiefs or somebody else ends up trading up and taking somebody at 3. So to go back to what we were talking about, yes, it does feel like there's not going to be an offensive tackle taken at 3.
Right. And that's what's going to be interesting just because if one doesn't go 3, then when does the first one go?
I think
it probably
6.
Probably I would say it's probably not in the top 5.
I don't think it's off the board for New York.
I don't think it is, but like I'm certainly not going to write them in to take an offensive tackle. I don't really know what the Giants are going to do.
I would lock in Cleveland to be that is the latest the first tackle will go. One of the tackles, if there's not a tackle picked in the top 5, Cleveland is going to rip the Band-Aid off at 6, and then there could be a whole string of guys, whether that's the Saints at 8, whether that's Kansas City at 9, whether that's Miami at 11. Like now, just like that, all of a sudden, boom. Oh my God, worst case scenario, there's 4 guys that have already been taken.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, we're panicking. Is like that right there, what I just laid out, is by far the worst case scenario. Cleveland takes one at 6. Kansas City takes one at 9. Miami takes one at 11. Boom. 3 tackles off the board. Then you're sitting there panicking, saying, well, we only have 4 first-round evaluations. It's Maui Noah. It's Caden Proctor. It's Blake Miller and Monroe Freeling. Say those are the Lions' top 4 guys. 3 of them have already gone, and we're not even to pick 12 yet. And now you are desperately worried about some team jumping you, taking your last guy. That's why now I'm a little bit more open than I was yesterday or the day before at any point this offseason to trading up and making sure you go get one of your wherever you think the cliff is, whether it's the first 3 tackles, the first 4, you got to make sure you get one of these guys. I really think now that it's a likely option to trade up and go get one. I'm way more interested in that than trading back or being put at 17.
Especially if the tackles seem to fall, because obviously that your immediate thought would be, well, if they're falling, then we're going to stay put. But then you might have a chance to go get like one of the 2 or 3 best tackles in the class. Like that feels like something the Lions would be. We weren't thinking that was going to be a case, immediately once we knew what the pick 17 was going to be the pick. But obviously these mock drafts and everything that you can hear is what you can trust. I'm going to trust Vegas as far as what's going to happen here in the draft because Vegas knows everything. And some of these over-unders for the tackles in the draft are a bit not concerning, but they're just like surprising. I mean,
what are they? They change very frequently.
Maui Noah's 8.5, his over-under draft position. That is, I mean, a week ago that would have been 4.5, 5.5. Caden Proctor, by the way, right there with the Lions, 16.5. Right where the Lions pick is.
But are you going to be totally shocked if he goes 6 to Cleveland? What's Lomu?
I mean, he wouldn't go 6 to Cleveland if his over/under's at 16.5. Right?
It's the draft, man. I think this stuff changes on
Monroe
a daily
Freeling,
basis.
by the way, 17.5. So just right there with the Lions as well. They're just throwing those teams there just because I guess it's confusing for those guys.
And what's Lomu? Who's got the highest one?
Doesn't have one. Those are the only 3 offensive linemen that have an over/under set for the first round.
I think this, if you were going to bet on the draft, I think the play there would just be take the under on all of those guys. No, assuming that all of them end up going early.
I think the real thing here is if you're going to bet on the draft, don't bet on the draft.
I may have bet on the draft.
Betting on the draft is crazy. You do have a bet on the draft.
I have David Bailey to go number 2, which I don't necessarily feel great about at this point. But
you don't anymore. He's minus 145 to go second currently.
Really?
It's changing rapidly. It changes so much.
That's why I don't know. I think the over/under 7.5 offensive lineman is more reflective of any of their individual where they'll be taken.
Yeah.
Props, but
I have Ty Simpson to go first.
There's odds listed for that?
Just kidding. There still is, which is shocking. Yeah, minus 50,000 for Fernando Mendoza to go first.
Is it just Mendoza versus the field?
No, everyone else has odds. I don't know why.
I might place one of those just for fun. I think Cleveland is a guarantee to take one. I think Miami should be a guarantee to take one.
I think Cleveland could take receiver, man.
At 6?
I think they could.
I think that's a little too high for any receiver on the board.
Cardell
especially
Tate is the
considering
favorite to go 7th overall. He's also the favorite to go 6th overall.
Really?
Yeah. It's up in the air, man. It is just it is everywhere.
I don't know who to trust with any of this. Is it Vegas? Is it the experts? Is it the mock drafts? I have no idea.
I
feel like tomorrow
trust.
It's just going to play out and it's going to be chaotic. And as soon as that second offensive lineman is taken, whenever that ends up being, whether it's Miami, whether that's their first one, then all of a sudden I get kind of panicked.
Right.
Because as I've told you, I think there's 5 offensive tackles for the Lions in the first round. Monroe Freeling from Georgia, Caden Proctor from Bama, Francis Malinoa, who probably won't be available, but there's some medical stuff with him, so who knows, he could fall.
Yep.
Caleb Lomu, or is it Fanu? I always forget which one of them's better. I think it's Fanu.
Fanu's the better one, yeah.
Fanu and Blake Miller. Those are your 5.
Not a Proctor guy.
I named Proctor.
Oh, you did?
Let's do it again.
Do it again.
Monroe Freeling, Caden Proctor, Francis Maui Noah, Caleb Lomu, and
you mean Spencer Fano, yeah.
Spencer Fanu, and Blake Miller.
Okay.
Those are your guys. If the third one has all of a sudden gone by pick 13, I'm going to start to get pretty panicky. Because sitting around and waiting and hoping that nobody jumps you.
Right. It's a good point.
It gets really scary, especially if, like, hey, the fourth one just went 15. We call in the Jets, making sure we jump one pick to guarantee that we get one. I don't think that's crazy. You can't let another team call the Jets and then steal your guy. That'd be awful. I'd feel sick to my stomach.
And there's been a lot of cases like that in recent draft history where a team just jumps up 1 or 2 spots and to take a player that ends up being extremely good, so that would be very frustrating to miss out on that.
And I don't think it would cost that much to move up one pick.
No,
that's like a third or a fourth round pick.
Which, I mean, I still think giving up draft capital for the Lions is tough. Like from
you have a zillion fourths.
From what the spot that they're, but they have no thirds. Like so,
correct. You're right.
The spot that they're in, it's tough to give up extra draft capital. But
maybe it's next year then.
But I understand why they have to do it. Like no doubt about it. You talk about I don't know who to trust. Vegas, the experts. Mel Kiper, I certainly know not to trust.
989-837-6125. Trade up, trade back, stay put. What do you think? It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mid. We're going to do our Big Win Wednesday giveaway when we come back. Thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. Loons tickets, chance to win them. All you got to do is text in. We'll give you the keyword when we come back. Looking for something fun to do right here in mid-Michigan? Go Great Lakes has you covered. From festivals and live music to outdoor adventures, great food, family-friendly events, GoGreatLakesBay.org is your one-stop guide to the Great Lakes Bay region. Whether it's a weekend plan or a last-minute idea, get out, explore local, and go Great Lakes.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. on 100.9 The Mid.
For as much as we've talked about the draft, for some reason it doesn't feel like it's actually tomorrow. I can't believe this. Tomorrow we're going to be sweating out the NFL draft, and I think the draft actually starts at 2 this year, and we get to see like the mind games. I'll tell you this, Kyle. I love the draft. I think it's one of the best sports days of the year. I like it just as much as an NFL Sunday, to be quite honest. It's so, mind games, the chess moves that are being played, the trading up, the anticipation. What are they going to do? I love the draft, and I don't know if it's because the Pistons are in the playoffs or the Tigers have taken so much of our attention. It doesn't feel real that it's tomorrow, that we get to go into the war room. Not us, we're not going to be in any war room, but I would love to be a fly in the wall in a war room.
For sure.
Even more so than I'd like to be a fly in a wall during a game of any sorts. Like, I take that back. Being on the headset for an NFL game would be so fun, but being a fly on the wall.
Seeing how they operate during the draft, though, like all the calls and stuff,
so
and
stressful.
exactly, like all the intense conversations that are being had and trying to figure out who's doing what, and this team is doing that.
You're picking at 17, and you're like freaking out over what's happening.
You have to figure out what every team has to do before you. Yeah, exactly. Like, and if one thing does something you're not expecting, then boom, it throws everything off.
The war room is such a perfect description for what it's like.
Yeah.
It's just until the day is over and that draft is complete. It is just probably the most stressful 3 hours. Obviously, the draft is always way longer than it needs to be. It's like this 4-hour event because we got to go. I think it's 8 minutes between every pick now, but it feels like it's 15 minutes before every pick. It's so fun. I love the draft, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Lions picking 17, where it hasn't felt as interesting this year. It's probably more so.
It's definitely just because of the
gonna
Pistons. That's why it's not as interesting this year. The Pistons are playing in the biggest game we've ever watched tonight.
I think it's less interesting because it's just offensive tackle talk is tough. People don't want to hear about, the.
But like last year, what was
sexy.
the talk? Like last year they had the.
We had
almost
no
the last
idea
pick
what
in
they
the
were
draft.
going to do last year.
Sure. So I guess you could contemplate like all the different things they could do. That's true.
I'm trying to remember what we were even talking about like the day of the draft last year. It's so hard to know what was going to be available at pick 30 or 29 or whatever it was. I think it was 29. But what were we talking about? Were we asking for receivers? We're probably asking for an edge rusher, I would imagine.
I think edge was the big thing, yeah. What we should talk about first is Big Win Wednesday, though.
Oh, that's right. Thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we're going to be giving away a pair of Loons tickets for this summer. Go ahead and text in the words, dive in. Text in dive in to 989-837-6125 for a chance to win some Loons tickets for this summer. Send your name as well so we can give you a little shout out here. We'll pick a winner here shortly. But now that we are at the draft, again, it doesn't feel real that it's tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to actually set in. Maybe when I wake up tomorrow and it's like, holy, you know what? We have a draft tonight. I do love it. I think it's one of the best sporting events of the year.
I honestly don't think it's going to like truly hit me until the draft starts.
Mendoza gets
because
selected.
all tomorrow I'm just going to be thinking about whatever happens in the Pistons game tonight.
Yeah.
Like that's all. And obviously we're going to do some fun draft stuff tomorrow on the show, which I'm excited for. But like, I think the Pistons is the reason why the draft just doesn't feel so real this year. It's going to, like, once it's here, and I'm super excited because, like you said, the draft is awesome. And maybe it's just an overall draft discussion. Like, any time that you go into a draft and all of the experts are just like, by the way, guys, this draft sucks. Like, that's never fun. That doesn't get you that excited for it.
There's
only
really
one
fun defensive
quarterback
players,
going.
though.
Yeah, there is. But, like, there's only one quarterback going. There isn't this, like, super-duper elite group of wide receivers that we've seen in recent years. Like, I think that just plays as a whole to the draft of the hype of it isn't as fun. For certain teams, of course, they're probably extremely excited. And I think for the Lions, like, this is one of the most anticipated drafts that the Lions have had in a few years.
I think from a non-Lions standpoint, it's fun in the sense that picks 2 through 10, we literally have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's totally fun.
We know what's going on at number 1. We've known since the day the season ended in college football and when we found out the Raiders got the number 1 pick. But 2 through 10, crapshoot. Who knows how this is going to play out, which makes it a lot harder for, Lions people to predict what happens at pick 17. And I think by the time we get to this point in the season, we've been talking about it for 2 months relentlessly of what offensive tackle they're going to take. What are they going to do? And now it's just like, man, I don't really care what anyone thinks anymore. I just want to see what actually happens. I do, like, from the bottom of my heart, though, think the offensive tackles are going to fall a lot quicker than people really anticipate, because I feel like that happens every single year, which does make me, more so than I have at any point throughout the course of the offseason, despite having a lack of real draft capital to trade up. I know they have $1 billion fourths, but I think trading up might be not a necessity, but not a necessity right now. It might turn into a necessity by pick 11 if 3 offensive tackles have already been taken by the time Miami's up, because I think that's a team that's pretty obviously going to take a tackle.
Yeah, I would assume that they do.
So if there's 3 that go off the board suddenly, yeah, I think the Lions should be calling teams ahead of them too, or at least like have trades prepared.
Now, is there a world where if 2 of them go, like in the mock draft that you talked about yesterday, for some reason only 2 offensive tackles go all the way up to pick 17, is there a trade down situation where it's like, man, we have like 2 or 3 guys that we really like, and we figured that it would kind of just be we're getting the 3rd guy because we thought some other guys would go. They didn't, and we're cool with getting all 3 of them. Do we trade down to early 20s or something just to – or is it not really worth the risk?
You're saying there's 3 guys left on the board that they like?
Yeah, like, I mean, you just said you have 5 guys that you like for the Lions, and let's say only 2 of them go. Boom, there's 3 guys that, like, maybe they also like them too. Is it not worth the risk? Do you want to get some extra draft capital for this draft? Because certainly the Lions could use it.
Well, you got to be aware, too, of the teams that are selecting right behind you, like Pittsburgh, 2021, offensive tackle could happen. Philly, 23, they could trade up and take an offensive tackle. Dallas, that's a team that could take an offensive tackle. Carolina, probably going more towards a weapon, but could for sure end up taking an offensive tackle. Minnesota, you never know. Like, I'd probably just end up sticking at 17. I think I'm out on the idea of trading back.
Trading back, you're just out on.
Yeah, make sure you get your guy.
I think it's fair. I mean, because we've talked about how important it is to get the future tackle next to Penei Sewell for the next X amount of years. And trading back, I mean, it just hurts the chance of doing that, no doubt about it, right?
Unless it's like 1 pick.
But like what? Why? Like trading back 1 pick. Like, why would a team move up 1 spot?
To jump Minnesota, it would be. I don't know. It'd basically be to jump Minnesota. But I think that if you're trading back, it's because an offensive lineman fell, in my opinion. So then you're just giving one of the offensive linemen to whoever traded
exactly.
up.
Yeah.
So I would say, no. I've talked myself out of it.
Yeah, if someone's trading up, that means they're trading up to get a tackle. Unless it's like, man, the Lions have really just decided that Francis Mauigoa, whatever's going on with his physical stuff, they're chilling on, and he really falls.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I mean, we've seen it happen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we've also seen that Brad situation happens,
We've also seen Brad Holmes does not care about a guy's medical history.
Great point.
Maybe Mauigoa falling is the best case scenario. It's like, oh, all these people are scared about this disc in his back. He's got this, problem going on. They don't think it's a long-term issue, but it's scaring teams. Brad Holmes is like, he's got back issues? I'm in. Let's do this. We got Levi. We had Josh Pascal. Let's add a 3rd guy with a back issue. Why not?
Yeah, but he's not from Alabama or Ohio State, so.
Or Georgia. They like their Georgia guys, too. It would be fun, a nice little storyline, offensive line storyline, to have Monroe Freeling and Tate Ratledge playing next to each other. Both the Georgia guys who used to be teammates on the offensive line. That would be fun. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on the Mitt. We'll take a trip around the league when we come back. Let's pick a winner here before we come back for Big Win Wednesday. I want to say congratulations to, let's see. Let's pick a winner here. You know what? Congratulations to Myron. You are a winner today. You're coming to the Loons game. I'll get a hold of you here shortly, figure out what day you're coming, so on and so forth. Thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet for making Big Win Wednesday possible. You guys are going to really like what we're giving away next week. If you're looking for a new car, I can tell you from firsthand experience that Garber Chevrolet in Midland makes it easy. I bought my car there last summer, would have been 2 summers ago, I think now. And the whole process was smooth, no stress, just straightforward. Whether it's a new whip, quality used vehicle, the team knows how to get you the right stuff. Garber Chevrolet, a place you can actually trust to purchase your ride.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Draft is tomorrow. today, right now, we are taking a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, remaining draft questions. I'm going to ask you these questions from ESPN, and you casually follow the draft, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't call yourself an expert.
Certainly not.
Let's just hear what you have to say then.
Okay.
Question number 1. Could Ty Simpson fall out of the first round?
Yeah, I think he could, right? I mean, you look at the spot that people are projecting him to go, it's super late in the first round if he's going to go anywhere. If Pittsburgh doesn't take him, which I just don't think they're gonna, that just feels like the one team that some people are throwing out as like Ty Simpson. The New York Jets late in the draft has been talked about. I think he absolutely could fall out of the first round. I mean, think about the draft a couple years ago when everybody was telling us Will Levis is going second. Will Levis is going second. And then he fell to the second round. And the Tennessee Titans got him early second. I think this could be a very similar situation. Obviously, no one is telling us Ty Simpson is going second, but like, I still think it's similar.
Yeah, I think the spots he's the most likely to go are, if he goes in the first round, are the Jets at 16, the Steelers at 21, or the Browns at 24. I think it's more likely, though, that Arizona just ends up taking him with pick 33. That just feels like the most likely scenario. Unless it's the Rams at 13, but that feels a little egregious.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't think so.
I don't see that either.
Is Jeremiah Love a lock to go to the Titans at number 4? If not, where?
No, he's not a lock to go to the Titans at number 4 because he might go to the Cardinals at number 3. Mm-hmm. Now, if he's there at number 4, I think yes. From everything that you've gotten, and just think about it. Like, Tennessee needs a playmaker. This would be a typical spot to take a wide receiver at pick 4. It would work out perfectly. There just isn't really that elite receiver to take at pick 4 in this year's draft. Mm-hmm. Most drafts, there is one to go this high, and this one there just isn't. And so you still have to get a skill position player. They got to have the worst collection of skill position players in the NFL, right? They've got to.
Yeah.
I mean, if I went up to 100 people on the street in Midland today, name a skill position player on the Tennessee Titans.
Not named Calvin Ridley.
No, just name one.
Oh.
I still think, I don't know if half of them can name one. Truly.
Probably not.
And so that's why they need to add somebody. Jeremiah Love is awesome. I would love if he went here. I think I've said this many, many times, but I'm going to get him in 2 dynasty leagues, and I think going to Tennessee would be awesome.
How far would the Cowboys have to trade up to land Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs? You know how they operate for the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. They want to win the headlines. They want to get the splashy star players.
Oh, Downs, or even Styles. I could see both of them. So where are the Cowboys picking at again?
Right now, the Cowboys are picking at, I believe it's 13.
I was going to say 12?
Yeah, it's 12. I don't think Sonny Styles makes it out of the top 7.
Styles, I think, goes first, right? Before Downs?
I would imagine so. And then I don't see Caleb Downs making it past number 10 if New York is staying there. So I think Dallas would have to trade into the top 10 to get one of these guys.
But I think Downs could fall to 10. Yes, like I think that's in play. I just don't know if the Giants would be wanting to do that. Obviously,
the draft. What if the Giants just ended up with both of these guys, Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs? That'd be sweet.
Could play. The Giants and the Cowboys have had a notorious draft day trade where I believe the Cowboys, they swapped picks and the Cowboys got CeeDee Lamb in a trade between the Giants and the Cowboys. So they've done it before. It's odd to see it happen, but they have to trade into the top 10. That's the answer to the question.
I think it's pretty obvious Dallas is trying to move up. They don't want to sit around and like slow build this thing after the Micah Parsons trade. I think they want to use that draft capital to get splash star guys right away. And this is going to be the first draft where they have the ability to do that. So I do expect them to try to trade into the top 10. And take Caleb
And honestly,
Downs
we've talked about it. You know, the Cowboys they want to win the headlines. But also, I think it would be a good move still.
I do too. Well, depending on what they gave up.
To get a key player in the, that isn't just on the defensive line of their defense, I think that'd be fun.
Here's a good one. Will Ohio State have 4 players selected in the top 10 between Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and wide receiver Carnell Tate?
I think yes. I think they absolutely will. I mean,
I do too.
Tate's going to be wide receiver 1, even though Jordan Tyson has now very recently, in the last couple of days, started to get some more and more hype. He was always viewed, going into this season, as the best receiver going to be eligible for the draft, and then injury stuff has really had him fall on boards. I've been seeing him get more and more hype now.
I think that's mostly smoke, though. When players
Probably.
start skyrocketing in the last
2 days of the draft,
yeah,
2 days
I don't,
before.
I don't know if I'm going to buy
This
that.
all just depends on if Downs goes in the top 10 or not. Because Reese obviously is. I think Tate is wide receiver 1, and if wide receiver 1 didn't go in the top 10, I don't know what NFL draft I'm following.
And I would go, yeah, he's going.
And Styles just
pick
is going
6
in the
through
top
8.
10 as well. So it all just depends on, does Downs go 10 to New York or not?
And I think the answer is yes. I think by the time 10 rolls around, it's like, this guy's just way too talented to be on the board. He's most players, like on most big boards, he's in the top 5. It's just he's a safety.
The only thing I could see the Giants maybe zagging on is if they, whatever they do at pick 6 or whatever, at pick 10, they go receiver.
Why couldn't that just be, well, I guess Carnell Tate in that world is off
Yeah,
the board.
Tate's off the board, and it's Mekhi Lemon, it's
Wouldn't you
Jordan
want to
Tyson.
trade back? Like, hey, Dallas, come get your guy
Sure.
in Downs, and then the
I
Giants
could just
can
see
go
the
draft
Giants,
one of the other receivers.
the Giants do need another receiver. So
I agree.
I could see them using their second first on a receiver potentially.
Can the Eagles find an answer for A.J. Brown at pick 23? Guys that could be there, Casey Concepcion,
Yeah, of course.
Denzel Boston, Amar Cooper.
potentially. Yeah, of course they could. I mean, like this happens all the time in the draft, just in the NFL, where teams trade their star receiver, they draft him in the first round. Late. I mean, there's been time and time again elite receivers taken in the late first round.
I think the answer is no. I think they're just going to take a tackle.
Well, isn't the question could they? Of course
Can
they
the
could.
Eagles find A.J. Brown's
Yeah,
replacement?
of course they can.
Not if they, out of necessity,
they?
need to draft a tackle, though.
Yeah,
which
will
is-
they is a different question.
Which is the next thing. The next question is, can the Browns wait until pick 24 to find a top-tier tackle? I'd say no. I think they have to take one at 6. Why roll the dice?
Yeah, you're right.
Here's another one. After trading Trent McDuffie, are the Chiefs in better position to take a corner at 9 or 29?
9, right? I mean, they would get the first one off the board.
Yeah, they get Mensor, Delane.
Yeah.
You could wait and get like the Tennessee guys.
The Jermod McCoy guy is definitely going to be in play.
AJ Terrell's brother towards the end of the first round.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, but I would just, if I'm the Chiefs, like, we acquired an extra first-round pick and traded our corner for a reason. Like, let's just go replace him right away, and then we still have that extra first to do whatever we want later.
But it sounds to me like Andy Reid is pretty adamant that they want to take offensive tackles. They want to protect Patrick Mahomes because the last few years,
Well, who is their right tackle right now? Like, I don't
Josh
even know.
Simmons on the left side.
I don't even know if they have a right tackle.
That's the
because
thing.
Taylor's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't blame them for wanting it to be
Sure,
their number one
sure.
priority to take a tackle, which is
That's a
why I
good
think
point.
it's all of a sudden in play that the Chiefs take a tackle if they're so adamant about protecting Mahomes, who, come the postseason last 2 years, has just been running
But
for his life.
One thing that has been so underrated about the Chiefs in their entire Mahomes tenure is they have always had a lockdown corner. They have always had one. L'Jarius Sneed was there for quite some time, Charvarius Ward, and then obviously they had Trent McDuffie for some years. Like, they have always had a really good corner. And for them to not have that, I think it'd be pretty tough.
I hear everything you're saying. I also just think it's incredibly important to protect Patrick Mahomes.
Makes
when he
sense.
has time, they win. If he's running for his life, when you go up against the big fronts like Seattle, like Philadelphia in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, that's when you run into, okay, this guy's human, and you can get after him a little bit. That's around the league
That's around the league. NFL draft.
tomorrow.
I gotta get a quiz for you on around the league because you've been quizzing me
Too much.
this week, and it's I don't like it. I mean, today wasn't a quiz, but I gotta come up with something for you tomorrow.
Around the League is always presented by Air Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Whether it's life, home, auto, physical insurance, it's all available with the Air Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, one more time, congratulations to our guy Myron for winning the tickets for Big Win Wednesday. Next Wednesday, woohoo! We're giving away Tigers tickets. Go see Sunday Night Baseball.
Let's go, Tigers!
I was there for their first Sunday Night Baseball game last season against Minnesota, where Scuba had 13 Ks. The night games in Comerica Park during the summer are just, there's something mythical about them. I love it. I love it. It makes it way more difficult to get back here. It's like more of a pain once the game is done. But the actual atmosphere for a night crowd in Comerica, nothing like it. They had a night crowd yesterday, and those who stuck around got to see Jake Rogers get a strikeout because he was pitching because it was 12-1. Pretty gross game. That basically stems from, well, lack of offense, wasn't Kiter's best day. But, like, if we're doing red flags for the Tigers right now, clearly, obviously, there is no other answer other than the long-term relievers. If one of the starters ever doesn't have a great outing and you got to go to one of the long-term relievers early, and Emmanuel De Jesus and Drew Anderson step on the mound, who have a 6.75 and 7.94 ERA, respectively, all of a sudden I feel like the game is over and the Tigers are hopeless. Mostly because it means their starter got pulled early and they're probably losing, and there's just no way they're not giving up more runs if these guys are in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where, like you said, if any starter can't go... I mean, yesterday's game is a little bit different because, I mean, Montero almost got through 6. It's not like he went 3 innings, but De Jesus was just the guy that they went to because Herter had pitched and Holton had both pitched the previous day.
And
made sense.
Anderson.
But I'm just saying it made sense to bring in a lefty. And De Jesus is kind of the lone guy left over there with Herter and Holton both pitching the previous day. So it sucks that it worked out that way. But it's not like Montero had a bad outing. Like, he was fine. And if any time a Tigers pitcher, which at least they have a good starting rotation, so you have that to rely on. But if any time any of them go 4 innings, 3 innings, get lit up early, I mean, Casey Mize has got to be due for one of those at some point, right? Like,
All-Star Mize, he's back.
Pitching today, yes. If that happens to any of those guys, I mean, the Tigers are just, you can chalk it up as an L if De Jesus or Drew Anderson has to come in and pitch multiple innings.
I don't know which one of them is worse. That's maybe the worst part about it. They may as well be the same guy. They check in and...
There's a righty version and a lefty version. Yeah, exactly.
Right. They check in and all of a sudden you just feel like, yeah, this team is done. They're not winning today. Turn the TV off. That's what these two guys are. They're the turn the TV off
I did.
guys.
I literally turned it off.
So you missed the Jake Rogers strikeout.
Yeah, I did not watch it. I got basketball to watch, man. I'm not going to sit here and watch a game that's 12-1. This team's
See, here's the thing.
I'm just out on that.
You don't understand. You missed out. Jake Rogers threw a knuckleball strikeout, and the whole crowd
I saw
went
it.
nuts.
I watched it happen after. I saw the clip. That's all I need to see.
I think that basically it doesn't like make up for everything, but in a way it kind of does. It's like, yeah, the vibe sucked tonight. We got absolutely shelled. Milwaukee came to town and beat us senseless with their baseball bats. But Jake Rogers got a strikeout, and I feel like it just...
No, it certainly doesn't make up for everything.
I don't know. There's something about that.
All it does is make you less
drunk.
mad. It makes you less like, oh, I was mad that the Tigers are getting blown out. Oh, at least I get to see this. Oh, okay, this is fine.
That's
all it is.
There's something about it where it gets so bad where it just becomes laughable. Where you're like, okay, I at least had some fun tonight. You know? Like,
yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you.
Still a little bit of fun that happened in the ninth inning.
But it doesn't make up for anything. You know, like there's a reason why he's out there in the first place.
Yeah.
But getting the strikeout is cool. I think he kept the ball, too.
I would hope so.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, the knuckleball strikeout, like, that's cool. I'd keep that.
Did you hear the Boo Birds out in the 8th inning, or did you turn it off by that
No,
point?
I told you. I had this turned off.
At what point did you decide that you were done?
Once it was like 9-1, before it even got to as bad as it was.
Oh, so you did get to see Spencer Torkelson's hit to end his 0-for-12 slump.
Oh, of course I saw that.
Second inning.
And then he drew a walk as well.
And then later in the game, he had a strikeout where he ended up on his on one of his knees. He swung so hard and missed. That slugging didn't get any better yesterday, by the way.
More like the Spencer Torkelson we know.
Yeah, slugging got no better yesterday with just a single.
Which also, Colt Keith gets to come into this game, which was cool. Gets a hit. Would love for him to just be part of the lineup. That's just would love that still.
Do you think if we complain about that enough, he will eventually be put into the starting lineup versus lefties, or is there nothing that we can do to get this to happen?
There's nothing we can do. For sure, there's nothing we can do.
It's infuriating, to be quite honest. I don't know, man. I really think Colt Keith is, for the season that he's having, it's pretty hard to keep him out of the lineup every day, and A.J. Hinch just feels incredibly content with doing it and happy to do it. And it also makes me believe, like, I don't know why we ever strayed away from the fact that this is just A.J. Hinch's team and it's his identity and nobody else's. There's no captain. There's no anything. This is A.J. Hinch's team, and not that anyone
is that a bad thing?
I don't know yet. I think it should probably be a player at the end of the day that's leading the clubhouse, and I don't know if there's anyone on the team that's doing that right now other than I think they just blindly follow A.J. Hinch, which I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I would like, a guy like McGonigal to eventually take the reins of that and take charge and be the leader rather than A.J. Hinch, because it feels like, again, everyone just blindly follows him like ducklings following a duck. It's like, oh, you don't want me to play me half the games? Okay. No big deal.
No, it does feel that way. Like they're clearly, but I would rather it be that way than like they disagree with A.J. Hinch and there's like a clear feud in the clubhouse. I wouldn't like that.
I would rather it be the way that it is now versus that too. But I also don't see why it couldn't be
like the one thing
these guys that played their way, like Colt Keith just being like,
sure,
yeah, I feel like I should deserve to play every day.
Yeah. It's just the one thing you have to give A.J. Hinch credit for, whether you like him a ton or not, which I think most Tigers fans do. And this is not an anti-A.J. Hinch bit, but like you have to.
It's not an anti-A.J. Hinch thing, but it's like it's getting pretty frustrating.
Sure, that's fair. But the one thing you have to give him credit for is like for as much hands-onness he has on the game for a manager, he has no egos in the clubhouse. I mean, there's no egos on this Tigers team. Like that's a very difficult thing to do just as a leader of professional athletes, to have no egos when he is involved as much as he is and he's making the tough decisions of like, hey man, I know you're having a great game. I'm not playing you today though. Like and to have no egos, it's impressive.
He's a leader of men. He's a clubhouse leader. I think everyone on the team respects him because he buys into them. Like he leans into all of their strengths. He had a quote yesterday about Torkelson. He's not gotten off to a great start, but it doesn't mean we're going to abandon him, and it's not in there. He's going to get his opportunities. So they're not going away from Torkelson anytime soon. I think that's probably another reason that the players really like A.J. Hinch is he's never going to give up on them. Maybe to a fault of some degree, because I don't know. I'd be giving up on Torkelson pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point they will give up on him because also like we have to remember they did give up on Spencer Torkelson in the past. They've done it multiple times actually, and so
they might just be forced. Their hand might be forced to give up on him.
At some point, it will have to happen unless he gets out of this slump. I don't even know if I want to call it a slump. He just hasn't even been good at all to start the year, so that I don't think that's a slump. I think it's just he has yet to be good, and so hopefully that comes. But if it doesn't, at some point they will make a move. Like whether A.J. Hinch says it or not, it will happen.
Draws a lot of walks though. That doesn't excite you. I saw something about his swing percentage. His 37% swing rate is the lowest of his career and just way below Major League Baseball average. He's only swinging 37% of the pitches he sees at. It's just too low. You got to be a little bit more aggressive at the plate. It's cool that he's drawing walks.
Torkelson's always
been.
Swing
more.
You ever see like the clips of him, just the first pitch clips of Torkelson?
Just annihilating fastballs. Is that what you're talking about?
No, he just does nothing on the first pitch every time.
I thought you meant a couple of years ago. Yeah, now?
He just but he doesn't even give an attempt. He goes down 0-1 in every count because we're in an analytic-based sport. The pitchers know, the catchers know. They know he's not going to attack the first pitch ever. He goes down 0-1 every single time. And the statistics of going down 0-1 versus 1-0 in baseball are dramatic.
Mm-hmm. That's why he's in the 7-hole right now. 989-837-6125. Hey, we got a playoff game tonight. Game 2, NBA Finals. Just kidding. Not the NBA Finals. Round 1 of the NBA playoffs. The Pistons.
Feels like the NBA Finals, man.
It's not what's on the line tonight, but it does feel like the Pistons season is on the line tonight in a lot of different ways. We will tell you about that here when we come back for the 11 o'clock hour. Hey, quick heads up for all the parents of athletes out there. If you've got kids Getting ready for spring or summer sports, Great Lakes Spine and Medical has you covered. With sports physicals, they make the process fast, easy, and stress-free. No long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team actually looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to athletes to help stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel teams, or just rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local option to get done right and on time. Appointments are easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day with Great Lakes Spine and Medical. Follow the Ben Bosscher Show on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe on that end. Exclusive video content, stats, graphics, all of it. We'll talk about the Pistons and their playoffs when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
The Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
As I stated to open up the show, I want fans to do one thing while the Pistons are on tonight, and that is to ask yourself the following question once a quarter. Just check in with yourself. Anytime you see Ausar Thompson or Jalen Duren at the scores table, just ask yourself, can these guys both be a part of the long-term vision with the Detroit Pistons? I'm not sitting here telling you the answer is no, but I am sitting here and telling you this is something that's been on my mind throughout the course of the regular season. and there's been no point in bringing it up because they've been the 1 seed basically since the season has started. They have been the 1 seed since the season has started. So why on earth would I sit here on this microphone as they're the 1 seed asking this question? Well, now they're down 0-1. Now their season's on the line tonight. It's not just any playoff series. They're the 1 seed and have had the home court advantage thus far and have it again tonight. So I do think it's appropriate to at least present this to our audience and ask them, do you think that these guys can play next to each other, both as foundational pieces, as the 2 and 3 pieces behind number 1, Cade Cunningham? And it all makes sense. I don't know if I know the answer to this right now, but I'm asking our audience because I'm asking myself this as I'm watching the games. It's been a deep, dark thought in my head that these 3 people cannot coexist. And it really just comes down to Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson can't coexist. Because J.B. Bickerstaff doesn't want to play Ausar Thompson down the stretch of these games if they're fighting to claw their way back into it. If they're holding a lead, I think they can play next to each other. But if you're down or it's a tie game and you're matching buckets for buckets in the fourth quarter, having Ausar Thompson out there is, A, detrimental to Cade Cunningham and the spacing around him. B, it's detrimental to Jalen Duren and the spacing around him and their pick and roll together. Okay, well, if you're taking Ausar Thompson out, you just lost the most impactful defender in the NBA for perimeter guys. If you take Jalen Duren out, you just took out an all-star, all-NBA type center guy that we floated around as the 3rd best player. Now, you know what could put all this narrative to bed? They just go out and kick butt tonight, which they very well could. It is a 9.5-point spread. Most of the time when there's an upset in the first game, the number 1 team or the higher seed just kicks ass for 48 minutes. There's a long history of that happening. So there is a pretty good chance the Pistons just take care of business tonight. But to Kyle's point, these thoughts, these questions that we have about the roster construction and the fit long-term, both in the immediate future and the long-term future, I guess I should say, with contract extensions due this offseason, these questions are still going to exist regardless. I just want you to ask yourself that tonight. And hopefully you're not watching Jalen Duren turtle back into his shell as he did in Game 1 and look more of the 2025 version of himself where he wasn't really a difference maker in that Knicks series. This year he was a difference maker in the regular season, specifically when Cade Cunningham was out due to a collapsed lung, helped keep the Pistons afloat. Not just keep afloat, but keep swimming at an incredibly fast rate. And then I don't know what happened in Game 1. I don't know if Wendell Carter whispered into his ear that he's dating Angel Reese and she broke up with you. I don't know if he just... I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the size. You know, Jalen Duren at the end of the day is only 6'10", and Orlando's got a ton of big physical guys that play in the front court. It was always going to be a tough matchup for Jalen Duren because the Pistons are playing a physical team. But guess what? The Pistons are the physical team. They're the bullies. That's the way that it's been every time the Pistons have ever been good. And this season and this run, it's been on the back of Jalen Duren being one of the most physically imposing players in the NBA, night in, night out. That guy was gone. Absent from the game on Sunday in Game 1. We need to see him Game 2 for the Pistons to even have a chance. And if they lose, if that guy doesn't show up, I think they do lose. And just like that, the season's over. Down 0-2, going back to Orlando. Season's over.
Yeah, I mean, it laid out a lot there.
Jump in wherever.
The stuff with Duren, obviously, it's incredibly important because coming into this playoffs, you had mentioned, like, if the Pistons want to go on a deep playoff run, Duren has to be... It can't be just the Cade show. It has to be a duo. I wouldn't even say a Batman and Robin situation. Like, it just had to be the two of them. They have to go off. And they've done it all season long, too. So, I mean, like, Pistons are likely to have 2 All-NBA players. That's awesome. They both need to play like All-NBA players in the playoffs, though. And I saw this theory getting thrown, not a theory, but just this hypothetical getting thrown around. If you just turned on that basketball game and hadn't watched a single game all season long, you surely would have not thought Jalen Duren was an All-NBA player. You would have thought Wendell Carter Jr. was. You would have thought Franz Wagner was. All these guys that were in the paint just getting stuff done against the Pistons. Like, to me, going back to the question of Ausar and Duren, yes, can they fit going forward is a question. Also, like, is the guy in charge of making them fit part of the problem?
Bickerstaff or...
Yeah, Bickerstaff. I mean, he's not doing them any favors. Ausar Thompson, he brings value on defense. He needs to be guarding Franz Wagner tonight.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like 100%. Franz was killing. Like he was getting everything he wanted. It was lunch money, him driving into the paint.
And I know Desmond Bane is their best shot creator, so it makes sense to throw Ausar Thompson on him, but it actually doesn't make sense because you want Ausar Thompson to be in the gap and be able to help and use his quickness to be able to just jump in the gap and try to swipe it from somebody. You can't leave Desmond Bane open. He's their lone lights-out three-point shooter. So I'd rather have him on Franz to disrupt him, even though Franz is bigger than Ausar. I think he can hold his own. So he can help off of him, too, and just get in passing lanes and create mayhem.
And just so Franz doesn't go off. Like, all of Franz's buckets in Game 1 were easy. They were all easy scores. There was no difficulty needed in his scoring. So Ausar Thompson's obviously going to make it more difficult on him.
So if Game 2 starts today, and I don't think we're changing the starting lineup at all, but if Ausar Thompson starts the game and is back on Desmond Bane, I think I'm like right away just MFing JB Bickerstaff. What the hell is this? There's a reason you're 9-20 in the playoffs because you lack adjustments, you lack the X's and O's stuff. You get everyone to play really hard throughout the course of the regular season, harder than everybody else, which is important. I'm not dismissing that. But when it's time for the big dog coaches to come out, and coaching actually matters in the playoffs, and advantages being able to scheme up against other coaches, I don't know if this guy's better than any other coach in the Eastern Conference. And not a single one.
And that's the funniest part, because you say it's time for the big dog coaches to come out, and we got a coach on the other sideline that has already been fired.
Basically.
They're already trying to find the next head coach of the Orlando Magic. And yet we're talking about, is JB Bickerstaff even built for the playoffs against that guy? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the part that's super frustrating. So relating it to the can Ausar and Duren fit together thing, can somebody else find a way to make them fit? Because that I think is just part of the question as well. And obviously, like, I'm not suggesting get rid of JB. But what I'm saying is that at some point it feels like a decision might have to be made of, rather than is it Ausar or Duren with Cade for the future, is it JB or Ausar?
Wow.
That's kind of what I think that could play as well.
But I don't think no matter what happens this year, I mean, JB Bickerstaff's going to be a Coach of the Year finalist.
He might win it.
So he's not going to be fired this offseason.
And I wasn't suggesting that.
I know. I'm just putting it out there for our audience. A decision that has to be made this offseason is whether or not Jaden Duren's getting a max or not, and whether or not Ausar Thompson's getting a contract extension or not. Those are decisions that impact the immediate future of this Pistons team. And if they go on to, God forbid, lose this series, and it's just completely obvious this offense lacks shooters all season, lacks spacing, these guys just can't coexist, and that's just the main takeaway from the series, which it's not totally unlikely that happens. If that's what ends up playing out, you do have to make a decision on Ausar Thompson, Jalen Duren pairing sooner rather than later. Like, that decision essentially comes immediately this offseason.
I mean,
you're forced to make a decision
mass
much earlier
decisions
than you had to.
have to be made. Yeah, if something as disastrous as losing round 1 happens. Now, with all that being said, I am confident that they will win this series still. I'm pretty confident still. I trust what I watched with the Orlando Magic most of the season. I think they caught lightning in a bottle Game 1. They had a good Game 1 game plan. Their team is not as good as the Pistons. Mm-hmm. They play the same brand of basketball as Detroit, but worse. I still feel great about the Pistons pulling out this series and the Magic not winning another more than one game. So, with all that being said, I still feel good. Obviously, tonight, though, it's the big one. Tonight is the huge one. I think you win tonight, everybody feels good, right?
Yes.
You figured it out. You're going 1-1. Okay, yeah, Orlando, good for them. They took a game. This is the Pistons series to win.
I think I'm a little bit more nervous than you, just big picture-wise with this series. What would be your number one selling point to someone who's thinking about hitting the panic button that Jalen Duren's going to bounce back and be the all-NBA version of himself rather than the guy who got completely tossed around like a rag doll and was a negative 21 in the plus-minus department in Game 1? Probably against a guy who stole his girl.
I mean, that could be part of the selling point. I have 2 selling points. One, the guy's due for a potential Supermax extension, and if he plays great, he gets it. It's that simple. I mean, if he goes off in the playoffs, the Pistons have no choice other than to pay him that.
Yep.
Because he's going to say, I'm not taking anything less than this. Here's why. I did well in the playoffs. But 2, look who he's going against, man. It's not, you talked about it earlier, it's not Gobert, it's not Wembanyama, it's not Jokic, it's not Embiid, it's not any of these guys.
It's the guy
Wendell
who stole
Carter,
his girl.
bro. It's Goga Batadze. It is not these elite tier centers. I get they have size and they're physical. So does Duren, and he has it at a much higher level.
But if you're going to tell me, the first point you make makes perfect sense. He's playing for a max contract. With what you just said, if it's that simple and that easy, what happened in Game 1? Why did he turtle? Why did he go back into his shell?
I mean, they completely took him away. I'm just
so
saying
if they do that again,
I'm
why
just
are we
saying
so,
they can't allow. Like, there's no way they allow that to happen again. That's all I'm saying.
Isn't that more of a JB Bickerstaff? Do you trust him to like free up Jalen Duren more so than it is? Because if they're doing the exact same stuff offensively, the Pistons, and Orlando's doing the exact same stuff of we're literally selling out to just take away the Jalen Duren lob. Cade, knock yourself out. If you want to score 40 again, go for it. We're just not letting Duren get involved, which is a good game plan. Why am I supposed to believe it plays out any differently unless
Because
it's
there's
JB Bickerstaff making X's and O's changes?
Are
that
you
frees
telling
him
me
up?
that Duren's going to take 4 shots again?
If he does,
There's no
I'm
chance
having
in
a
hell.
meltdown tomorrow at
There's
9
no
a.m.
chance in hell he takes less than double that. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, at Jalen Duren as a basketball player who clearly has confidence and is an all-star this year and potentially an all-NBA guy.
He didn't have confidence on Sunday.
That's not going to happen again, though. Like, there's no way that he just comes out and plays the same exact way, whether Orlando is selling out to him or not. He is going to shoot the ball more. That's for sure.
What if
he's going to get more offensive rebounds? He's going to get more defensive rebounds. Like, he's not going to play that worse again. There's just no way.
And please, for the love of God, stop going for every single block. Stu's included on this. It happened way too much. There's 4 different Detroit Pistons arms hitting the glass trying to block a shot. Meanwhile, one of these big guys for Orlando comes up and just has an easy putback dunk. What if Jalen Duren starts going off and he's having a really nice first quarter and Wendell Carter Jr. just comes up and goes, Angel Reese told me to say hello. And then
I think
it
that'd be
just
bad for
rattles
him.
Duren. It just rattles him.
Because also, we don't know how that really ended. Like, Duren might have been the one that tossed. Oh, you're with my ex. Like,
either way, that would psych anybody out. I think you're
I
playing
think what
against the
psyched
guy
him out
who's
more is the
dating
fact that
the girl
Angel
you used
Reese
to talk to.
posted the clip of Wendell Carter dunking on Duren on her IG story. That's probably the part that would psych him out the most.
I think whoever broke up with who, however, the Jalen Duren Angel Reese thing that basically, like, as soon as it got legs,
it
fell
died
apart.
died pretty quick. Yeah.
Whatever ended up happening there, I think that would psych anybody out. That you're the guy you're guarding and like running up and down
Truly
the court
a
with
one-on-one matchup. Yeah, exactly.
the entire time.
Yeah.
That guy's now dating the person you used to mess around with. How could that not psych you out?
And also, she happens to be like a mega star too. It's not like she's just like some girl.
You know what? Jalen Duren needs to use this in his favor. He needs
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
whispering
Like, I think
crazy
he
stuff
could.
into not even for himself, but start like psyching out Wendell Carter Jr. Like, I don't know, saying some egregious stuff that I probably shouldn't say into this microphone.
Right. I figured you were going to say something like that.
Yeah, let's take a timeout. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on the 11 o'clock hour. As always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast. And they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The on 100.9 The Mid.
Trade up, trade back, or stay put? What's the best move for the Detroit Lions? I'm way more open to the idea of trading up and that being a necessity, depending on how fast these offensive tackles fall tomorrow. I also just can't believe the draft is tomorrow. But it to me sounds like, hey, Cleveland could be taking a tackle at 6. The Chiefs could be taking a tackle at 9. Miami could be taking a tackle at 11. And if that is how it in fact plays out, and all of a sudden there's 3 different tackles that have been taken in the top 11, and let's say the Lions have 4 first-round grades or 5 first-round grades, then you're all of a sudden playing with fire in order to try to get an offensive tackle. You're sitting there and waiting 6 more picks, praying that nobody else takes one, and then nobody trades in front of you with the Jets and steals one right at pick 16. I'm way more likely, way more open to the idea of trading up right now and just being a little bit more aggressive if the tackles do end up going quicker than expected, which typically happens in the draft.
How aggressive are you willing to get, though?
Just making sure you get your guy. I'm not saying trade into the top 10, but can you trade from pick 17 to pick 15?
Because be careful what you wish for, right? What if the Lions really got aggressive, traded up to like pick 9 or 10?
Oh, my God.
Boom, the second-round pick's gone, or a second-round pick next year's gone.
I don't think
about
trading
it?
into the into the top 10 is ever going to be a good thing.
Ever?
For the Lions in this situation. Like,
Sure.
There's not a lot of worlds where
What's I'm
I
saying?
think that works.
If you want to trade up, like, be careful what you wish for, because
I want to trade up, but I don't want to trade up that aggressively. I think it's a few picks. It's a handful of picks, not like let's jump into the top 10.
And it's in the right situation of getting the guy that you think might not fall to 17 quite enough.
Yeah. Like, say they
there at
love
pick
Monroe
14,
Freeling
yeah.
and 3 tackles are off the board. Proctor, Maui Noah, and Fanu are off the board. And all of a sudden, Monroe Freeling's your next guy. You have a drop-off after that. Go get your guy. Go get aggressive and trade up to 12 or 13 or wherever it ends up being to make sure you get your guy. I'll be happy if that's the case. You're more inclined. Do you also think the tackles are going to fall as fast as I'm making it out to be right now?
It's what it sounds like, right? It seems like just because, especially if one doesn't go pick 3, and the first tackle, which, I mean, everything is indicating that the first tackle won't go till the end of the top 10 now, it seems like, or at least the back half of it.
Could be 6.
Yeah. If that's the situation, then, and even if, like, let's say Cardinal Tate goes pick 6, like, if the first tackle doesn't go until the back half of the top 10, it becomes an odd situation of just trying to figure out and process where these guys are actually going to go. Because like you said, once one of them goes, then it probably feels like, okay, now we're going to get a little bit of a rattle effect here.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to always happen with certain position groups in the NFL. And it just, I mean, tackle's the one position that you're like, yeah, we might as well just take a tackle. We might as well take the tackle. You know, like,
Yeah.
Can we talk ourselves into this? Can we talk ourselves into, let's just take the offensive lineman.
When in doubt, take a tackle.
Yeah.
That's what most teams go into
It's a
the draft.
need for a lot of teams as well. You know, like most teams aren't just always solidified. We don't need a tackle at all. We could never use one.
How many teams have 2 franchise tackles?
Yeah, the Lions had the benefit of that for a 4-year stretch,
Mm-hmm.
which was awesome. And now they don't. And not a lot of teams have that, by the way. Like, it's weird that the Lions are now in this group. Think about the Chiefs, man. They just took a tackle in the first round last year. They're about to do it again this year. Like,
Could do it, yeah.
And they're a great team. Like, all of these teams, it's so difficult to have 2 guys that you love there for a long stretch of time. The Lions had that luxury. They don't anymore. And so, yeah, I'm less keen on trading up just because, man, there's so many things that the Lions do need to address. And I know that the track record the last couple of years hasn't been well, but the last time that Brad Holmes had to draft guys later in the draft that got playing time right away, it's worked out. Like, yeah, we don't love the Sione Vaki pick. We don't love the Giovanni Manu pick. Those guys were never going to play. Mm-hmm. Whereas those early Brad Holmes drafts, the 3rd, 4th round guys, those guys got run right away, and those were the guys that worked out. And we might see some of that with this Lions team. So I don't want to trade those picks. I think those picks are valuable for Brad Holmes this year.
What about trading back? I'm pretty much out on that idea, unless for some godforsaken reason only 1 tackle has been taken.
Sure.
But that just feels unrealistic.
Yeah, I think you've talked me into also being out on trading back. If it was, it would have to be a pick or 2. Yeah, it'd have to be like 20 is the lowest I would go.
But then you're basically letting someone take a tackle at 17, which that just doesn't sit right.
I don't know. I don't think it feels Brad Holmes-like to do it.
He's done it once.
He's going to have his big board of guys that yeah, but that was a situation of they're drafting Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round.
Right.
And obviously no one's taking him at 6. Let's do it at 12. And it still was a shock.
Yeah.
So unless they have a tackle that their favorite one is the 7th guy, which, I mean, that could be a situation, though. I guess I didn't think about that. Like, a guy like Blake Miller, Blake Miller's a guy you've talked yourself into.
Yeah.
It seems like he's going to be there at 17.
Also
right?
is the oldest and most experienced, has the most starts under his belt, like the most pro-ready guy of those guys, I would imagine.
If they like him the most out of that middle-tier first round of tackles, it seems like he's absolutely going to be there at 17, and you're convinced that, okay, some of these tackles are falling, and yeah, maybe we should go with this guy, but we know Blake Miller's going to be there at 22. Like, we just know it. We're mapping it out right now.
That would be a finesse. That would be a really, really heads-up play. Like, maybe I am like 10, 15% open to trading back.
It just all depends on who is at the top of their big board. And I would love to know. Obviously, we never will. The only thing we will know is what the Lions are going to be dressed like in the war room, because they always do a fun little theme, and that's always fun to see.
So we don't know what they're going to be dressed like.
But we will at some point. I mean, they'll show them, you know.
Day one, though, I think it's pretty suit and tie.
Really? Didn't they? I feel like they always have a theme.
No, that's the day. That's
like
the later days.
Okay.
The Brad Holmes jersey, the grit stuff. I think day one is usually just formal, and then it gets progressively weirder.
I would love to get like the shirts what was the shirt that they wore a couple years ago? It's so funny. I forget what it said.
Something about not drafting based on like the tangibles.
Yeah, like
intangibles.
Yeah. So like those shirts that they have for that, they're clearly just special made for the draft. Like, I would love to get my hands on one of those.
989-837-6125. That's the number of the mid messages. I told you the 11 o'clock hour is presented by Yiter Insurance. What I didn't tell you is if you are looking to have a little get-together tonight for the Pistons game, you need to go to Eastman Party Store, your one-stop shop for everything you need before the big game. Whether it's grabbing cold drinks, snacks for the game, or realizing last minute that you do need ice, Eastman Party Store has you covered. Heading to a tailgate, house party, or just settling in on the couch, make it easy on yourself. Swing by Eastman Party Store. Get in, get out, and get on with your night. Eastman Party Store, quick stop, great selection, and always clutch when you need it most.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, without further ado, it is 11:30. Let's make sure we get the rest of the news in. Kyle Sandel, take it away.
The Mits Morning Catch.
All right, let's get right back into the news. Got to let the people know, too. We got Loons baseball starting here in about 25 minutes. Show's going to end about precisely 2 minutes early today to send it over to our guy, Javon Bakari.
Wait, so does that mean we don't guess Collins Open today?
No, we didn't do it last time either.
What a shame.
Which I think it screws you over, actually. Yeah, it does. Because it's supposed to be your turn to go first today. But you just won't get it.
Second straight time that's happened.
Second straight time that's happened. It's kind of weird how that works out. Blame John. It's his fault. Yeah, Loon's taking on the Sky Carp at 11:55. Coverage starting here. Okay, let's get back into the news. We were talking about the NBA games last night. Let's talk about the NBA games on tonight. Pistons Magic. That spread has gone down to 8.5, so the Magic have gained a point back. Maybe some people are betting on Orlando. You mentioned it. It's a pretty large history of teams that are the heavy favorites in a series losing game one. They just typically tend to come back in game two and destroy the other team. I like the Pistons win by double digits tonight. Am I scared? Of course I am, and I'm going to be really scared throughout the whole game. But that's just because I'm a fan of the team. If I was a neutral person, I think I would feel pretty confident about the Pistons winning by double digits tonight. So we'll see.
But if you were only an observer of game one and didn't see a single thing from the regular season, I'd be alarmed. I'm just like, game one went as poorly as you could have possibly imagined. And that's with Cade Cunningham scoring 39 points, They still lost.
They went really poorly, and yet they still had a chance to win. So maybe that can make you feel decent. John says we should guess his open. Okay. Maybe we'll do that. We'll decide. Yeah, I'd say no.
I just decided no.
Yep, it's Ben's show. He decides no. Games on ESPN tonight, by the way. First playoff games on ESPN. Well, no, actually, never mind. There was that one on it was ABC, ESPN, whatever, on Sunday. But Saturday, yeah, whatever. Magic Pistons at 7, and then the late one, 9:30, Suns versus Thunder. So both of the 1 versus 8 series get the extra day off. Just 2 games tonight, so you don't have to worry about 3 games going on, and one of them starting at 11:30 p.m., so that's really nice. Suns versus Thunder, OKC, 17.5-point favorites to potentially go up 2-0. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Has there ever been a spread that high in a playoff game? I'm gonna
maybe game 1 of Thunder Suns.
I thought that was only like 15. I'd be willing to bet there's a pretty good chance that's the highest spread
it could
ever.
Be. It totally could be. I mean, OKC is just a machine, so I could see it. While you look that up, let's go over the scores from the NHL playoffs yesterday. The Lightning defeated the Canadiens 3-2 in OT to tie that series up at 1 apiece. The Bruins also defeated the Sabres despite Josh Allen chugging a beer in Buffalo, so that series is tied up at 1 apiece. The Mammoth defeat the Golden Knights 3-2. They're tied at one game apiece in that series as well. And then the Avalanche go up 2-0 over the Kings in a game that, if you saw this clip on social media, the fans shattered the glass over the Kings bench, and it shattered over one of the coaches of the Kings. Ridiculous stuff. Just a whole sheet of glass.
Yeah, I saw the clip. I couldn't believe it.
Dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was all plexiglass and they couldn't be broken, but apparently plexiglass can still be shattered. I had no idea.
And it was a big sheet that landed right on his back. Yeah, everybody was okay, but yeah, a lot of glass shattered there. Games tonight: Penguins Flyers Game 3. Phillies up 2-0 in that series in the Battle of Pennsylvania. Stars and Wild Game 3 is tonight. That series is tied up at 1 apiece. And Game 2 of Ducks versus Oilers is the late game at 10 o'clock. Edmonton leading that one 1-0. Will this be the year for Edmonton? Who knows?
Hope so. I'm
Who
rooting
knows?
for them.
I think most people are rooting for them. At least it's a fun story when they make the finals.
Yeah, 3 straight years, 3 losses. That would be...
Last year's Stanley Cup was awesome.
It really was.
I mean, it's like the whole storyline of them playing again. I thought that was really fun. So I would love to get a similar story. Not saying we need it a third time around, but just getting a similar storyline of the Oilers making it again would be a ton of fun.
I did find the largest NBA spreads in playoff history.
Okay.
17.5 has happened twice, so this will be the 3rd time that it happens.
So it's tied for the largest?
Yes. On both occasions, Only on one occasion did it. No,
They actually covered.
neither time actually.
Didn't cover either time.
Nope.
Who was it?
It was the Cleveland's being minus 3,400 against the Celtics in 2017. There might have been some injuries to the Celtics team.
Must have been.
And then the year prior, the Spurs were minus 10,000 against the Memphis Grizzlies. Which that would have been like, it's too late to be like Zach Randolph. Mike
No, that would
Conley?
have been the Conley squad, Conley Gasol squad. Grizzlies sneaking in as the 8 seed or something. Yeah, that would have been that year. Okay, interesting. Let's move to actually one more NBA Finals thing because I just saw this. Adam Silver said that the NBA Finals trophy at half court, the Larry O'Brien, is actually going to be back on the courts, painted at half court this year. Last year, the NBA received a lot of controversy because they did like the holographic version. In like game 3 of the finals, they switched it up and
Bullied him into it.
Yeah, they bullied him into it, but it wasn't real. This year, they said for sure every finals game is going to have the real finals big trophy at half court painted onto the floor, just part of the court. So
Why'd they ever get rid of it?
I don't
That's
know.
the question. The NBA is like, oh, we have cool things. Let's just get rid of it.
yeah, really just makes you think of like the Kobe Celtics like finals. It just gives those vibes a ton. So I'm hoping it's as big as that trophy was because it basically took up the entire width of the court.
That was before there was ads in every corner of the court.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Okay, we did get some news this morning in college basketball. Spartans backup point guard Divine Ugachukwu did enter the transfer portal. It closed last night as far as the entry window, and it seemed like there was no announcement last night. Oh, Michigan State gets out scot-free. Nobody enters the portal. Well, Divine Ugachukwu, the transfer from Miami, number 99, he has entered the portal, the lone Spartan to be not returning from last year's squad.
One of the sneaky, really important guys for the Spartans this year up until he got hurt.
Yeah, he totally was. I mean, that game against Rutgers, I think it was, where he hit that huge 3 in the corner. They almost got upset at Rutgers.
Wasn't that? I thought that was Penn State.
Maybe it was Penn
both?
State.
Was it both?
Yeah, I think it was both. I think he did hit a clutch 3 against both of them, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he was a great player, and like him going out was a true detriment to this team because it led to, the worst player in Michigan State basketball history, Denim Wojcik, getting real minutes.
So that means Michigan State can pick up one player in the portal right now?
They can pick up multiple players still, but they just have a lot of guys coming onto the team next year. So it's
there's a maximum amount of guys you can have
you
on the
get
roster, and
15
they have,
guys
5
on.
guys
You
coming
can have
on.
15 guys on roster. They got 4 freshmen coming in. It's still up in the air whether or not this 5-year college thing is going to go into play, and that obviously means a ton for both Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler. As of right now, it's not going to go into play, so I don't think they should be relying on that. Hopefully they still go and be aggressive to get at least one guy in the transfer portal.
And just so we're on the same page, that 5-year thing is just like a hard cutoff. You have 5 years.
Yes.
Red shirt doesn't matter.
I don't know
You
about
have
the red
5
shirt,
years.
though. That's what I don't know. I don't know about the red shirt. I think it's just, you would think that it's just a 5-year window, because why would it not just be a 4-year window with a red shirt? So,
it makes sense because there shouldn't be any 6-year players playing in college basketball. That just should not be a thing.
So that's I believe that is the rule. But for Michigan State, this kind of made sense for Ugachukwu to enter the portal. 2 freshman guards coming in that are both 2 top 60 recruits in 24/7 coming in, probably each going to get minutes. So it kind of made sense for Divine to go. But Spartan legend, I guess. Also news in the transfer portal, Duke has landed John Blackwell, the top guard in the transfer portal from Wisconsin. There was heavy rumors about him joining Dusty May in Michigan. He's a Detroit kid, played at Brother Rice, was not recruited by neither Michigan or Michigan State coming out of high school, ends up being a star at Wisconsin, and now he's going to go be a star at Duke for his final year of college. So pretty cool story. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in the state, though, because that would have been cool to see.
Did he go to high school in stayed?
Yeah,
all
he
4
went
years?
to Brother Rice, yeah. But he wasn't a top recruit. He was a 3-star, wasn't this big-time recruit. Wisconsin was the only Power 4 school to recruit him, and it's a cool story. He got developed there, and he became a really good player, so definitely was rooting for him.
You said he was the number 1 player in the portal?
He was the top guard in the transfer portal, yes, so big-time stuff there. Last thing we'll do here in the news. Actually, we'll do 2 more things because one of these is pretty funny. Mike Tomlin is to join NBC as an NFL studio analyst on the Football Night in America, Sunday Night Football. He'll be a part of I think there's 10 people a part of that pregame coverage. They have the most people ever on their pregame show because when they do the pick'em, they do the people in the studio. There's 5 of them. Then they go to the people on the field. There's 3 more. And then Jack Collinsworth is just with a random person every time.
Yep.
He's got to make his pick. And then, of course, you've got Tarico and Chris to make their picks. So now you just add Mike Tomlin into that group. Super funny.
Hilarious.
Last thing I do want to mention this. Mike Vrabel has addressed the media for the first time after all of him and Diana Rossini stuff went down. He said, quote, "I've had some difficult conversations with people I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players." And he essentially admitted to being with Diana Rossini without actually straight up saying it.
Nor did he apologize for anything.
Yeah, he just said he's had some difficult situations or difficult conversations. Hey, man,
Does
haven't
she
we
ever
all?
have a job again covering the NFL?
Yes.
I would say no.
Covering the NFL?
Yeah.
She's going to be on a podcast or something.
Barstool?
She's just going to go to Barstool. Like, no doubt about it. It's got it all written. It's written all over.
I don't know, man. Well, actually, it does make so much sense because Dave has been like basically like, yeah, nothing wrong.
And he's the Patriots guy, and I think she goes on Pardon My Take all the time, so she's already got a relationship with
her
them.
husband.
Goes on Russillo's pod, who's on Barstool now. Yeah.
Odds of Diana Rossini getting a divorce from her husband in the next calendar year.
I think low.
Really?
I mean, it's clearly she hasn't liked him for a long time. This probably isn't anything new for him.
Now
right?
the public humiliation
Yeah,
aspect of it, though, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we should get her on this show.
She's not doing anything else right now. 989-837-6125. We will do our two traditions to close out every show when we come back. That's what we got going on. See the difference at Midland Eye Care, where your vision is their focus, offering comprehensive eye exams, glasses, contacts, and advanced eye health services. Friendly, knowledgeable staff and a wide selection of stylish frames for every face and budget. Book your appointment today and start seeing clear tomorrow at Midland Eye Care.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Great Lakes Loons baseball coming at you at noon. Pre-game will start a little bit earlier. Until then, let's get to our traditions to close out every show. The first of those is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Boom, 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 boom. We hit last night. Woo-hoo. I forget, is that 2 in a row? No? Is it? It is. Wow.
No, it's just one.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I was just teasing you a little bit. No, but you finally hit on a Tuesday, though. I think that's the big part, right? You hadn't hit on a Tuesday in, I don't know, 3 years or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
LeBron hit 2 threes, man. That's all it took. You just got to go to the LeBron bet. I mean, it was pretty obvious. He should have been doing that for a while.
He only made 2. And they were in a couple possessions. It was 3 possessions. He hit 2 threes. He was just feeling it a little. So it ended up working out.
It ended up working out, yes. So looking at the stats now, maybe this means Ben can get on a little bit of a hot run. He's going to need it. He's 10.8 units down in 2026. He's 1-1 on the week, 0.02 units down on the week since that was a minus 102 bet last night. And you are 6.7 units down in April.
What's the stat that you told me the last time I'd hit 2 in a row?
Yeah, you haven't hit 2 in a row since March the 3rd.
Yeah, that's insane.
You hit 4 in a row going back to March the 3rd. But then after that, it was just all downhill from there. I'm telling you, it was that Utah trip. Something bad must have happened out there, folks, with gambling. Well, hey, but here's the good news, though. This is your one positive stat. Wednesday, you are money. I mean, this guy doesn't miss on Wednesday. You've hit 5 Wednesdays in a row.
That's just nuts.
I just don't know why,
understand.
but it's the only day you've been hitting. It's really makes no sense. But yeah, you've been nailing Wednesday picks.
Well, hopefully we can keep that up right now. I'm going to the birthday boy, man. Duncan Robinson. It's his birthday today. He is minus 104 to hit 3 threes. They're going to need him. Obviously, Duncan has become one of the most important pieces of this team. Not the preferred way the roster would be constructed if I was building a basketball roster, but we have arrived here nonetheless. He's got to let it rip from behind the arc. When they're hitting threes, they win games. When he's not hitting threes, they tend to lose those games. So I'm going with Duncan to let it rip from the outside tonight, especially noting that JB doesn't like playing Ausar down the stretch. So I think that's even more run for Duncan Robinson and more spacing around them too. So I'm going with Duncan to hit 3 threes tonight.
Yeah, I like this. I also like that you hit picks on Wednesdays, and I'm going to follow the trends. I've been following the trend for a while. Last night I bucked the trend. Can't do it again. Got to follow it. I'm tailing.
So I'm down 6 units. What is your record straight up in Taylor fade?
I think I'm right at 500. I've hit 4 days in a row now because I've just been fading every day, and then yesterday I randomly tailed. 31 and 32. So I'm just about 500.
Okay. Hopefully we can both pick up a win.
I'm going to tail today. Yeah, I like this pick. Shout out to Duncan Robinson. Happy birthday. How old is he? 31?
Let's see.
31's my guess.
32. 32. Sneaky old Duncan Robinson is.
Wait, 32's old, huh?
For a basketball player.
He's not even paying attention out there.
That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Typically, this is where we guess what Colin opens with, but since we don't have Colin Cowherd airing on the 100.9 The Mid today, we're not going to do that. So we are going to do our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I mean, it's got to be the Pistons, right? This is the most must-watch game, not just for our perspective, but across the NBA tonight. There's 3 more games on, but I think this Pistons Magic one has the most juice to it. The 1 seed is down 0-1. They're still at home. There's this thing where they haven't won at home since 2008. The other game on, there's only one other game on tonight, and it's the Thunder with that 17-point spread. So I don't even think it's close. I think the Pistons Magic, for just sports fans in general,
wow,
is by far the most watchable game today.
I mean, usually you don't go with the home team for the game of the day.
It has to be. Playoffs, one seed season kind
I
of
don't
in
know,
jeopardy.
man. Like the Mets are going for 13 straight L's. Like it's kind of a good one too.
You're right. That is a good one.
Clay Holmes, a former Yankee on the mound for the Mets, like kind of fun.
One of the more impressive feats we have
Yeah.
going in sports right now.
12 straight. How do you lose 12 straight baseball games?
I have no idea.
Baseball?
With the number 2 payroll in all of baseball. It's like
Ever? Yeah.
It's like the movie that you spend $200 million to make and you only make $50 million back in the box office. That's what this Mets
Right.
team is. They suck.
They really do. Their
And this
offense is so bad.
This is how every single year is. It is so funny.
And it's going to be so funny when they convince themselves that the way to fix it is by giving Tarek Skubal $500 million.
Yeah, the guy who plays one of every 5 days.
Yes.
Let's up the payroll even more for a guy who plays one of 5 days. That will help us win games.
Pistons magic. All right, I'm here for it.
Can you bring John in?
Yep. What's up, John?
What's up?
John,
Hey, Ben.
what do we got going on? Where are you right now? You're in Wisconsin,
Where
right?
am I? Man, this guy is paying attention, locked in, promoting Loons baseball all day. I'm in Beloit. It's Education Day. They're going to play some 6-7s because I already heard their PA system tested them out, so that's going to be fun.
What is Education Day? That just means
Earth
a Kids
Day?
Day?
Day.
That's a good way to celebrate an Earth Day as a child. I would love to go to a baseball game on an Earth Day.
Yeah. It's Jose Mesa's birthday, by the way, for Great Lakes. So him and Duncan Robinson share a birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he shares a birthday with Duncan Robinson. He should feel blessed. Sir Duncan Robinson, that is. That's all.
Yeah. Sir down 0-1.
John, appreciate you you checking in here. We're going to get to Great Lakes Loons baseball coverage here momentarily. This has been the Ben Bosscher Show. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Go ahead and follow us there by searching Sports Radio 100.9. The Mitt. Game 2 tonight, man. Need Jalen Duren. And I just want you guys to think to yourself, ask yourself the question, can Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson play next to each other down the stretch in the immediate future? So that's what's going on. We'll recap the game tomorrow at 9 a.m. Be there or don't. See you later.